Where the heck are my sound? I really need to sort out this freaking soundboard. I can't see where anything is anymore. Oh, here we go.
I am recording.
Yeah.
Right, are we ready?
Eh,
Yeah.
not yet. I mean, we're not on YouTube yet. But
We
Wait,
will
soon, I
be.
assume.
We are.
There you go. That
Are
was
you
actually-
recording, Chinny? Because usually I hear you do the
Well,
Zoom. Or do you not
so,
want
I'm so flat today.
Oh dear.
That's fine. No problem. Let's skip that and just go right to
No,
the
I'll
show.
do, I'll do it.
Everybody
I'll do
ready?
It, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Recording in progress.
Okay, go.
I don't want to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to leave the
Now we're
meeting.
ready. Okay, here we go.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Yeah, come on, people. Let's do it. Come on.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Ginny, and the fellas will tell you about every single game that you're playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the veteran gamers.
Oh
It's
yes.
the veteran gamers.
Oh yeah.
Veteran gamers.
Uh-huh.
It's the veteran gamers. Switch that console
what
off
happened?
before you have to press repeat, yo.
Hello and welcome to episode 739 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yeah, 739, baby. What's happening? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
Chinny.
And
Ah.
that's Chinny, who's not feeling real well today. I'm sorry, Chinny. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah,
Not well
yeah.
today.
You're like a old flat tire, aren't you, today?
Yeah.
All deflated,
Black and rubbery.
black,
It
and
happens. It happens to the
rubbery.
best of us. We have off days sometimes, and all you can do is just keep pushing. And
I
you know,
just
Winston
feel-
Churchill said,
I
Go ahead.
just feel bloated, and I felt bloated for like 2-3 days. And I was feeling all right this morning. I was like, oh, I feel a bit better this morning. And then I had a sausage sandwich, and I feel like it's bread. I feel like
sausage
I feel
sandwich.
like I feel like bread is the problem.
Maybe it was the sausage.
No, I feel like I eat too much bread.
At what point do you go to the doctor? Like, if you don't feel well tomorrow, will you go to the doctor?
Well, I've got this whole B12 deficiency thing going on. I don't know if I've ever told you about that.
No, you've never mentioned it. I never
Hearing
knew.
about this.
When did this happen?
We are into this.
Health. It's time to talk about health. About a
Yeah,
year
so-
ago, I started getting like tingles all over my feet and hands and stuff.
Oof.
And I was like, huh, that's not good. And then I went to the doctor. I think I've told this, but I went to the doctor anyway.
What? You've never told this story before. Chidi.
Oh, you've
What
been
is
It's
in-
possible that you told us and we forgot.
Oh,
but-
You
No,
told us
Stu-
several
No,
times.
Stu's making a joke. I think I have
Oh.
mentioned it.
Oh, I
Anyway-
didn't realize
mentioned
that.
it
No,
more
sorry.
than once.
So,
I
so-
forgot.
So at least
So,
Stu
okay.
listens and Duke doesn't. Hey,
Joke's
Dude,
on me.
Dude doesn't listen
least
to
I what?
anything.
So
Huh?
the short story is I went to the doctor and 52 is what the minimum is what you're supposed to have for whatever measurement this is of B12.
Okay.
15 is critical. You should go to hospital, and I had 17.
Wow. It's
So
lucky you were at the doctor at the time.
yeah, another couple of weeks or so I'd have been hospitalised.
To
Anyway,
be fair, Chinny, everybody's got a B12 deficiency because we live in a fucking country where there's barely any sunshine.
well that's
that's a bit of a
vitamin-
problem.
But that's vitamin D, that's not
vitamin
B12.
D.
No, it affects B12 as well.
Yeah, but you get B12 from your diet, and when I look at the diet, like I'm like, well, that makes sense because I eat none of that shit.
Because you're a fussy eater.
I'm not a fussy eater anymore.
You fucking are a fussy
I'm
eater.
not a fussy eater. Just because I didn't grow up eating liver and shit like you did.
Hey, you can't beat a pig's trotter.
you
That's
can't-
what I say.
Anyway, so it's coming back, like the whole tingling thing, and I was like, well, I've got like an injection coming up soon, so that should knock it out. Then I had the injection, and for a couple of days I was fine, and then it came back again. So now I have to go back to the doctor and say,
Mm,
sort that shit out. And now I've got this bloated thing,
frustrating.
and we're going into story time now.
Or maybe, Ginny, you should eat the shit that's got B12 in it. Maybe you should
Well, I
start
don't
doing
like
that.
scallops.
My favorite time. It's story time.
Story time.
I don't like scallops, Stu.
Right, let's have a look. I'm
There are
going to have a
other
look now.
ways to
What are,
get
what are
B12.
foods high in B12? Let's see what you've got to eat. Just a
Go
minute.
on.
Foods high
By
in
the
B12.
way,
Here we go.
I looked up normal B12 levels, and they said normal values are 160 to 950 picograms per milliliter.
What does any of this
which
mean?
doesn't make any sense.
None of this
I know,
means
right? Well,
anything.
you were mentioning 15
know.
whatever.
That's what the
I was
doctor
trying to
told
find
me.
the actual numbers that doctors might use other than 15.
What the fuck is B12?
Don't have
on
less
this
than
document?
15.
Hold on. B7. God, there's a lot of B's.
There's
B12.
loads
Here
of
we go. B12, right?
Good foods for B12: nutritional yeast, cereal, clams, milk, salmon, fish, beef, yogurt,
Meat,
shellfish,
Fish,
chicken,
milk,
mushrooms,
eggs.
peas,
So
spinach.
I don't have eggs. I don't really drink milk
No.
very much.
Oh, get some eggs.
What about
there are
meat?
stores
You-
near
you
you
eat
that probably
meat?
sell
No, but
them.
it's got to be beef, not any meat. It's got to be beef.
Well, what's up with beef?
Said liver.
Don't really have beef.
What, do you never have mince in anything? You never have chili or
The- the
bolognese
only-
or anything like that?
Yeah, but maybe, but like mainly it's.
What about a good steak? What's wrong with a piece of steak?
But I don't. A lot of my family don't eat meat, so if I have it, it's like usually like a vegan or a plant-based one or whatever. So the only time I'll have it is when I have a burger or something. But
What about a bit of fruit? You can have it in fruit. It's in fruit.
which fruit?
I don't know. It
It's
just says.
going to be a crap one, isn't it?
But as far as vitamin B12 is not found actually.
Well-
oh, it's not found in fruit. Sorry, I
So,
read it wrong.
according to WebMD, it's harder to get your B12 from food if you're on a plant-based diet.
I'm not
However-
solely on a plant-based diet. I just
No, I know. This is the part of the website. Fermented food, tempeh, nori, dried sheets of seaweed.
it sounds delicious, doesn't it? You know what? I'd
Okay,
rather have
fine.
a fucking
Eggs,
injection
fine.
in there.
Eggs, poultry,
See, I
eggs,
don't-
poultry,
Cheese, a
yogurt,
fucking
milk,
omelette, Mum.
cheese.
Jesus
You don't have a
Christ,
lot of
what is the matter
choices
with
here,
you?
Chinny. Do you want to
Yeah.
use all your B12 deficiency?
You
or not?
two would be awful doctors.
Here we go. Hey, liver
right.
and
All
kidneys.
right,
There you
all right,
go.
little Mikey.
Nice.
In order for you to feel better, you're gonna have to eat some foods that you don't normally eat.
Yeah, there
So,
you
which
go.
of these sounds best for you?
Or I could have
Tempeh?
an injection every 3 months for free.
What about a tuna sandwich?
That would certainly make our friends at the pharmaceutical industries happy because that's their answer to everything.
Yeah.
The trouble is, here's the trouble, Chinny. This is your problem. This
Here's
is
the
your problem.
trouble.
This is why I
Here's
should.
the
This is
problem.
why I shouldn't mention
can-
anything on here.
You can keep having the injections up your ass, right?
It's not up my ass.
but you're not changing your lifestyle to actually solve the problem, are you? You're just having injections up your ass.
Again,
Well, if he's getting the vitamins through
Well,
the
I guess
injections,
up his ass.
it's not up my ass.
I agree that it would be better to
What
do
about
dietary
yogurts?
changes.
What about yogurts? Do you
I
like
like yogurts. Yeah.
Well, eat yogurt then.
Go to
Maybe-
the store and you stock up on a whole bunch of delicious yogurt
Yeah.
and have
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
a day. There's
Yeah.
there's
There
a
Get
step
some-
forward in
yeah.
a dietary fashion.
Granola, because it's found in
Hey,
seeds
look,
and
I
stuff.
feel you, Chinny.
Stick
I
it
don't like
together.
changing my diet. I had my doctor told me that my cholesterol was high and my blood pressure was high, so I had to cut all soup out, including ramen, which I love. I had to, start changing the foods I eat, cut down on cheese and mayonnaise and stuff, and I think I've done
Well-
a very good job. I think I've dropped my numbers.
So here's the
hopefully.
thing. Here's the thing, Chinny, right?
God, I feel so much better.
If you had a 3-egg omelette,
Yeah.
3-egg omelette, that'd supply you
with a big hunk of cheese in the middle.
60% of your vitamin B12 that you need on a daily
Well,
basis. So
yeah,
3
but
eggs.
An
3
omelette
eggs, that's
is-
all you know.
That's basically rocket science to me. I can't put an omelette together.
What about a hard-boiled egg? Can you not eat a
No, I
hard-boiled
can't eat
egg?
that. No, that's disgusting.
Why?
Well, it sounds
No,
like you just don't
I'm
like
not,
eggs.
I'm not cool and Luke, right?
What about a Scotch egg? What about a Scotch
Oh,
egg?
he
You
was
can
the
No,
guy who
have
ate
it.
a
I'll
lot
have.
of
Good
eggs.
to me.
No, I had.
And
I
it's got meat round it.
I filmed a thing. I filmed this guy, this VIP guy. He earns 20 million a week or something. I don't know. At a business this week, and they put on this lovely buffet, and they did these like little scrambled the egg type pie things. I don't know what. I'll show you a picture because I took a picture. Of them, Stu.
Yummy.
I can't say as I've ever heard of a scrambled egg.
No, I don't know
pie.
what it is. It's like just some sort of
What, a
little-
quiche?
No, I don't. It's like
It's
hold on,
quiche.
let it catch up.
Here
There.
we go. Wait a minute. It says here, should you take
Stu, look at the
vitamin-
video. Look at the
All right,
video.
hold on,
that,
hold on.
that. I ate that.
Yummy!
That looks like a croque monsieur or something.
I don't know, but I enjoyed that. It had ham in it.
Yeah, it's a croque monsieur. It looks like a croque monsieur.
I like that.
But that's not got egg in it. It's cheese.
Well, all right. So then,
That was a cheese. That's probably why
Yeah,
I
it's
liked
well,
it.
but cheese is also a source of B12.
But listen, Chinny, look, right. This is what it
Yeah.
says. It said, should you take
Yes,
vitamin,
Dr. Fowler, yes.
vitamin B12 supplements? So it says vitamin B12. I recommend for people who are at risk of vitamin B12 deficiency, including
And that's
Me.
Chinny,
That's me.
older
including
adults,
Michael Chin. It just says on the
people
website.
called Chinny, people who are pregnant or called Chinny,
Yeah, yeah.
vegetarians and vegans or Chinny,
Mm.
or people with intestinal conditions or Chinny. Just basically Chinny. That's what it says
Yeah.
here.
Well, that's the
Do you
thing.
take
like-
supplements? Do you take supplements?
Yeah, I am. I've started to now. Yeah, yeah. Because
There you go.
yeah, but it's just I don't
I
know.
hope it helps.
I don't know. I just feel cack. And but anyway, story time. I was.
Hey, I've got some health news. You haven't asked me about health news. I've got
Well,
some health
we'll go
news.
to your health news on
You don't
your
give a
health
shit.
section.
You're there with your Ponzi B12.
Attention, new
deficiency.
listeners. We will talk about video games
Right.
soon. Please don't
So-
switch off.
What I was gonna say, because we could always go back to health news.
Oh,
shit,
okay,
all right?
okay.
It's not a linear format.
No, Stu
you know,
is a
this show.
subject by subject person. He's
Yeah,
not a person
exactly.
by person.
Exactly. You can't
He wants
mix
to
up
organize
your
the show
It's
by
like
subject.
mixing your food. You can't mix your
Dude,
foods.
don't
man.
talk about
You
food.
can't-
Right now,
you
we're
can't
gonna do a
mix your
shout
food.
out.
for a shout out. Hey!
I want to say thanks to
Oh,
Jacinta.
man.
It's all about flow, Stu. So if I'm in if in a
God.
flow, then
My
you don't.
OCD is
Yeah.
kicking
You
off
don't
big
know-
You
time
don't
now.
cock block it
Miles
and go,
Chikaslik
oh,
said-
I've got health news, my heart give up or whatever, right? So, this happened about 2 hours ago. I'm in
Okay.
the living room playing with Rosa, and then Tara's outside trying to clean a car because she's selling her car, and then the burglar alarm goes off.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
someone had broke in.
The problem
Is that what it
is,
sounds like?
since we
Was it
moved,
travellers?
Everyone starts dancing when the burglar alarm goes off.
the problem is, as soon as we've got this house, we've never touched the burglar alarm. We don't pay for the
Oh,
burglar alarm. We don't know anything to do.
Do you
with
know the
bur-
code to turn it
No,
off?
no,
You idiot.
Oh no!
Wait a minute. How was it even set?
because I don't know.
Because they said it before they moved in.
No,
Someone
because
said
it would
when
have been
Chinny
going
and
off
Tara moved
constantly
in.
because as soon as you hit
I
a
don't
sensor,
know,
it
I
would
don't
have
know,
gone
No,
it's
off.
there's only
never-
one spot where it gets stripped.
It's never gone off. We didn't even think it was online. It's on, but we never
Actually-
thought it was like on because you have to subscribe to it to be on.
Yeah, right, sure.
Oh.
The AI presumably only goes off when the AI recognizes somebody holding a chainsaw. So
So I
someone
shouldn't
came
have
out with
give
a chainsaw.
I
and
shouldn't
it-
have give
whoop,
Rosa
whoop.
that little toy chainsaw.
Exactly.
So I pick up Rosa because I don't want to leave her in the room. I go into the hall, which is and it's
Dude,
so
you are not very good with your instincts. Adults
in
just
case.
run. Let the kid deal
No,
with it.
well, he wanted a shield in case there was
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
armed
Oh,
in
there
the
you go. That's a
house.
good
I run
idea.
into the
Yeah.
hall and I'm like, oh my god, it's so much louder in the hall. So I quickly run outside to the front. Tara's still there, hoovering away, and I'm like, Tara, the fucking alarm, all right? And she's like, I thought that was a different house.
Oh,
I
is that
didn't-
what that is?
Like I didn't know that was our house.
I thought you were having a rave or something inside.
Yeah,
She
she did.
comes in and like
Whoa,
then
whoa,
she
whoa.
goes next door because our next door neighbour is quite a handyman sort of type guy. Because I've got the baby and we're plugging away at this thing and I was like, I don't want this baby to like go deaf because of this. It's so loud. So we're in the living room.
Yeah.
It's because it's a lot quieter in there for her. So, and then she said, oh, they're trying to contact the person who used to own the house. Why don't you try and switch it off? So she has Rosa, and then I look, and then I feel like shit. I'm bloated. My foots are tingling, and all this sort of stuff. And then I go
Jeez.
down into the basement, which is, by the way, a spider hotel at the moment.
Is it? Can I just whoa? Is the board for your burglar alarm not next to your front door? where you can
Yeah, it
activate
is.
and
But,
deactivate it?
but that just wasn't responding to it. It just went, alarm is active. Good luck, right? And I was like, let's just turn it off. At
I
the
predict you have a headache.
I predict you're bloated as fuck. Why don't you eat some fish?
You should have some poultry to get rid of that B12
Why don't
deficiency.
try some eggs?
Eggs.
So I thought I'll just switch it off at the main, right? So I switched the fuse off that said burglar alarm. Nothing.
Good idea.
There you go.
Nothing, right? It's just still going.
Oh,
All right, and I was
God.
like, I'm sure I remember that there is a battery attached to burglar alarms,
Oh yeah,
just
they
in
do.
case
Just in case the electric goes off and someone breaks in your
Yeah.
house.
So, or someone tries to cut the power to your house and then rob it.
Correct.
There you go.
So then I couldn't find
Or
a.
someone flicks the switch that says burglar alarm.
Do we want to keep running through all
More
the
likely,
scenarios?
instead of snipping the power, they would probably use the chainsaw to cut the power.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
would. Yeah, break it completely.
At this point, I just let them. I just like just take whatever. All right, just whatever. I
Have
don't
the
care.
baby. Go ahead.
So then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to take this panel off. Alarm's still going off, by the
Wow.
way. Right,
Oh, panel
and
off.
I still feel like shit, by the way. So I go upstairs, and I get like 2 screwdrivers that I think could do it. One's too big, one's too small. Fuck's sake,
Oh,
I
no.
can't do this. Then I have to go up
And the whole
here.
time.
Yeah, the whole time. So I come up here because I got my drill in here, which has a little screwdriver
There you
attachment to it.
go.
I'm like,
Yeah.
right, I'll fucking saw this thing off if I have to. And then I
Take a page from Stu's PC report.
Yeah, man, hacksaw. That's
and I
what
know
you
this
need.
is first world problems, but this is like 4 flights of stairs at this point, right? So I'm like,
Nice.
look,
And you're
going the
panicking.
basement to the first floor to the attic, which is where I am now,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
all the way back down, and then undo it, clip the battery out, gone. But the problem is that's also connected to the lights in the basement, so I have no idea where I'm like, I can't see.
Oh,
So
no.
in the darkness, I
You need
smack.
some of them orbital headsets with the lights on the
I
side.
s-
How
in the-
weird!
in-
How weird is that? The
Well, they run
batteries-
out of like
light.
little things, didn't they? Breakers to put it on, I suppose. But I smack my hand off the side. So you know when because you can't see it. I
Yeah.
smacked my
Yeah,
hand
right.
so hard off the side. I went,
Oh.
"Fuck this body! I wish I could just rip my brain out and put myself in a different
Yes.
body. Just do
Put it
that.
in a
You know what they
jar,
do in
man.
Get Out, but they don't have to be black.
yeah.
Just
Well.
like anybody, anyone.
I don't know that that's the lesson from Get Out.
Yeah, no, it
Wouldn't
is.
Be nice
Yeah, I
once
don't
you
think
What
get
it
I
is.
to
took
remove
away
your
from the
consciousness
movie
and
Get
go into the
Out
sunken
was,
place.
wasn't it great to swap bodies?
The sunken place is a really cool place to hang
It's
out.
a
I
great
really want to go
place.
there.
Just let me do that. Oh my god. Yeah.
No, it's Futurama, man. You want to be ahead of the
Yeah,
jar.
I just
Yeah.
or I
That's
just
what
want to
I
be
want.
like the $6 million man. Where I just replace my
Well, that
belly
too,
with
sure.
like a new belly, put like
Yeah,
put-
well,
put new feet,
An
new
AI filtration
new-
supercomputer.
new nervous system. Like that'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
Stu, are you dying?
Anyway.
How's your health?
ahead,
no,
Stu.
no, the opposite. In fact, the opposite.
Ooh, good
that's
news
good.
on the health front.
Opposite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So thing is, right, I had to go for like a yearly checkup at the doctor's. So it was
Yes.
everything. Man. It was like 4 vials of blood.
This is a video game show, by
Oh
the way.
boy,
Yeah, 4 vials of
we
blood,
will
right?
eventually talk about.
And
video.
then
right.
she said
Thanks
to
a
me,
lot, Elizabeth Holmes, for not ever figuring out the whole drop of blood thing.
Yeah, 4 vials of that shit. And then she
Yes.
said, then she gave me a little cup and a syringe, right? And she
Uh-oh.
went, take this home with you, and you need to wee in that, and then put it in the syringe, and stick it in this bag and bring it back, right? And I went, I live in Leyland, right, which is about 7 miles away, and I'm like, I'm not going all the way home, and can I not just do it here? And she went,
Yeah,
"Oh,
really.
In reception.
Well, you could do, I guess. She said, just go in the toilet and do it. And I'm like, of course I'm going to go in the
You
toilet.
wasn't-
I ain't
that
going all
wasn't
the way
standard
home.
procedure. Just go pee in this.
Yeah, exactly. I said, look,
That's so
I can
weird.
do a wee. I can do one right now. I'm
yeah,
fine.
really.
Jesus Christ.
Are the people
So-
who normally go to that clinic like unable to urinate on command?
Who knows? Who knows?
can't go, you're watching
me.
So I
Well, I assume they go in
started,
the bathroom.
so I started doing it. She's like, "Whoa, go in the toilet. What's the matter with you?"
Yeah.
You had to be told to go to the
I
bathroom in
didn't.
order to.
It's a
Piss.
joke. I didn't do it in
Oh, okay.
front of her.
Hey,
What is-
that tells you something about my impressions.
you
of
laughed
Stu.
though. You laughed. It was a good joke. You
Yeah,
laughed.
I did.
So what I
laugh.
did,
It was a good
I
joke.
lobbed my dick out and put it on the reception desk.
That's it.
Said, weigh this.
So yeah. So needless to say, I went in the toilet and did the
Yes.
urine thing.
Well,
And
you'd
then,
think it was
right,
needless to
and
say,
then,
but you had to
right,
tell me.
it was in this syringe, and you had to syringe it up out of the cup, right?
Ew.
So
Why?
this-
Why can't she just pour it in
Why?
the bag?
Well, what you got? You can't just pour it in
Hey,
a bag. They've got to test
dude,
it.
She
shit.
said to put the syringe in the. Oh, just the
Oh, no,
syringe. in the
no,
bag.
the
Dude, it's
syringe
the
was
NHS,
full
they
of
don't do-
urine.
In the United States, when they tell you to pee in a cup, you just bring the cup back. And
Yeah,
they go, "Thank
usually,
you."
but
that's
if
it.
the NHS
No.
they don't want to do the work. It's you
No,
know
they don't.
they don't want
I
to do the
guess
work.
so.
So,
Alright.
so here's the thing.
I
when
had
it
to
was fully-
diagnose myself.
when it was fully extended, it
Your
wouldn't fit
penis.
in the bag. It wouldn't fit.
Oh.
Yeah, my penis. It wouldn't fit in the bag, man. It was too big for the bag.
Right.
So then I'm like, I had to stretch the bag around it and then seal it, right? And then there was a big bump at the top. It just looked all kinds of weird.
This is a weird conversation.
Such a
we're
bizarre
having.
So-
story.
So I dropped that off for reception. So she got all my blood, got me piss.
Okay.
Everything
Piss.
was good.
Right. Yes.
And
What
I had
about
to go.
what about rectal juice?
No, thank
fecal
God,
sample?
no.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
God, no. So
plasma,
about-
mucus?
I had to.
What
Did you
about
have
like
earwax?
a bit of food between your teeth?
No,
Did she
she
need
didn't.
that?
So this
Mucous
was
membranes?
this was on the Thursday, and then I had to go back the following Tuesday, which was this week on Tuesday, right? So I had to
Right.
go back to get
Gotcha.
the result
Fascinating.
and have the
Okay.
full checkup with the nurse, right?
Yes, of course.
So
Yeah.
here's the funny thing, right? So I walks in to
All right.
see the nurse.
How else was
right?
you gonna do it?
Yes.
Exactly. Sits down, right, and she's like, "Oh right, yeah, yeah, you've come for your results of your blood test. Have you
She
everything's
sounds
all right?"
she sounds awfully cocky, Stu.
She was right. This was best bit though. So then she says, she said, "Oh, is it atrial fibrillation?" No, she said, "Have you got hypertension?" That's what she said. "Have you got hypertension?" And I went, "No." And she went, "Oh." So she's looking. So you can see her squinting at me nose, right? And she went, and then she went, "Oh, you've got heart failure, haven't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's me."
That's
right?
the
Correct. 20
Right,
points.
She went, and then
You
she
win a
went, and you could
prize.
see the concern on her face, right? And then she
Yeah.
went, "If you have any issues ever in the future, don't ask for me."
Oh.
So I was like,
What?
I was like, right. And she went, "Yes, no, you'd need to."
I'm not
and
even a
if-
nurse.
And even if you did ask for me, well, I'd only send you in to see the doctor. So, just ask
Is
for
he
the doctor.
available? Do I have to be
Right,
talking to you right now,
just
lady?
ask the doctor. Right, and I'm like, "Yeah, don't." I said, "I'm like, don't worry, I've got a cardiac nurse, so I'd just ask her because she's an expert in it. So that's the person I'd probably ask if I had it.
Why are you meeting with her in the first place?
So she was for my yearly checkup. Yearly checkup.
I
'cause you
know,
have
but
to
if she's
check
so
up.
squeamish about heart issues, tell her to
Exactly,
fuck
I was
off
like,
and
well,
get
I
a
think she
real
was
nurse
worried I
in
might
there.
just. I'll
Maybe
be honest.
she was confessing. She was like, "By the way, I don't know anything. I've got this job.
I know
just
nothing
basically-
about heart
I got
stuff.
nothing."
I lied my way through
Blagging
medical
it.
school.
I'll be
Blagging
honest.
it.
I think she thought I was going to have a sudden cardiac arrest just sat there in front of her. You know what I mean? Like that
guess
could be a
so.
thing that might.
So does that
happen.
mean she won't deal with people who have like irritable bowel syndrome because they might start shitting everywhere? And she
Maybe,
won't deal with someone who
maybe.
has a problem with their bladder because they might start pissing everywhere?
Anyway, so here's the news.
I just don't
So
like
here's
dealing
the
with sick
news.
people, really.
So here's the news. Everything
Okay.
was perfect. I mean, I didn't have. I was
Yay.
nowhere near pre-diabetic. My
Awesome.
cholesterol was perfect. My liver function was
Great.
fine. My kidneys were fine.
Yay.
I had all the vitamins I need. There was no deficiencies in any of my vitamins or anything.
Not even
And then-
B12?
No, nothing. Everything was perfect.
Wow.
And so there was
You
no
must be in the sun a
markers.
lot.
Fucking
And she
show off.
said, right, this is what she said. She said,
You've
What
got the
did she
best
say?
B12 I've ever seen in my life.
this very rarely happens. So this very rarely. She said,
Ooh.
someone of your age said, there's usually something. And I went, there is. I've got heart
Yeah,
failure.
you
love.
have
I've
fixed
got-
all of your
I've got
healthcare
heart
problems.
failure.
So you're saying I'm indestructible?
So then she did my blood pressure, right? And my blood pressure was 109/65, right? Which is perfect.
Yes.
And then she went,
Only Stu could give a report from the doctor, which is
I
like,
know.
I'm perfect.
And then she went,
I
I know.
won
And
the
then she went,
doctor's
Such a
visit.
she
swat.
went, well, even that's all right. And I'm like, of course it is. What are you expecting?
Okay, wait a minute. You just said it was all right. She said it was all right. You said it was perfect. Which is
Yeah.
it?
Well, it's perfect. Well, it is perfect.
You're
It's
such
at
a,
109
you're
over
such a swat,
65. It's
Stu.
perfect.
Such a swat.
It is
Such a
perfect.
teacher's
So,
pet.
I am tip top apart from my dodgy ticker.
Google search told me that as a general guide, this is the NHS. Ideal blood pressure is considered to be between 90/60 and 120/80.
Yeah. And mine was
So you're in
one-
that range.
mine
but
was
there's no
109 over
perfect blood
65.
pressure.
No,
No,
but
no,
that-
no,
You're above
dude.
it.
No, no.
Thirty-five.
No.
They stopped. They closed the GP
No,
and
that
they
is
said
perfect.
this is the most
No,
perfect
no, no. It is
blood
in the
pressure.
range. Right.
It is
They-
very
they closed-
between
quite
90 to
healthy.
120 over 60 to 80.
Dude, they
rather.
closed the practice and rang everybody in the
That's
NHS.
That's it. We found the
We found
perfect
the most
heart.
perfect blood
It's
pressure.
right in
Can I just say
Wow.
mine was 109/65? So that is,
Go ahead, say it. Yes,
Very
say
good.
that.
very
Yes,
good.
that's great. Okay, well, we're very proud of you, Stu. Well
I
done.
know,
on
I've
your
got
I remember.
amazing-
I remember.
I mean,
when-
look, it is awesome that you made those changes and worked hard to overcome this medical problem you had, and that's awesome. So,
do you want
yes,
a medal,
kudos.
Stu? Like, I don't know what you
Yes,
want.
I'd like.
Right.
Can you send one in the post?
Okay,
please?
I have got
All
Oh,
right,
one.
we're ready to move on
No,
now.
no,
right?
I've
Let's talk
never
about
got
video
a-
games.
I got
Let's
one.
have a look.
It's never going to happen, is
There's
it?
still people waiting for jumpers and sweatshirts and shit off you. So you know what I mean?
I know. I've sent two
I
of
thought
those.
you meant when I said, can we talk about video games
No,
now?
I
That's
meant-
never going to happen.
Yeah, probably isn't it?
I bet
This correct.
jumpers and t-shirts. I sent 2 of them. I can't remember who, but I sent 2 of them. Okay.
What, you want a
Big
medal?
bad.
Yeah, do you want? Yeah, you'd never get one.
No,
to
I
anyone.
want to share.
No one's getting a medal.
I had a health check, right? I had a health check like years ago. This was years ago before I was dying.
This is before
And-
you had your B12 deficiency.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it
she
is.
checked my cholesterol, and she said such a weird thing, right? It
Go on.
really
Your
stuck with
cholesterol
me.
is so sexy.
No, she said, "Well, you'll never die of a heart attack." And I went,
Well, that's a
"What?"
good thing. That's a good thing.
God.
No,
And I
that's
was like,
good.
no, she said your
No,
cholesterol's
but
really
that's
good.
a weird thing to
That's
say.
what I mean.
I know,
That's
I'm
a
like,
good thing.
It's
how do
really
you
good
know?
right now.
And what I want to
She's-
do,
You're so young.
if I have a heart attack, I want to phone her up and go, "You
So you
fucking
liar."
promised."
I'm dying, but I want you to know. Fuck you.
You said
That
I'd
would-
never.
No, my last request, I'd grab Tara and be like, ring this number and tell her I did die of a
To be
heart attack."
fair, no. To be fair though, she said die of a heart attack. If you've just
Yeah.
had one, that doesn't quite count.
Yeah.
does
What
it?
you should have done in that moment is to say, "All right, I've written it down on this piece of paper. If I do, you
Yeah.
owe my family $10 million."
It's in my will.
How confident are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just stuck with me. I just remember thinking, like, you can't guarantee that, you mad woman.
That's a,
Anyway,
that's a weird thing to say.
let's
to a
talk
patient.
about bloody video games, I guess.
Yeah, come on, let's talk
Okay,
about
Where
some
are you
video
going?
games.
Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Who's going first?
I'll go first because I've got a lot on my
You
list.
Go first.
I've got a lot on
Okay.
my list.
right.
I'm going to start with, and I didn't think I'd say this. I have finished a game this week.
Lovely.
I know. I'm
want a
doing
medal?
quite well. I'm doing great. Yeah, I
Was
do.
it, was it Bluey?
No, it was. No, it definitely wasn't Bluey. But
Did you watch a
it-
Bluey?
It was close because it was close to the sun. I finished that game.
Was that the one
Wow, on
that
purpose?
I thought you said you
Yes.
hated it?
Well, I didn't actually hate it,
What
but
the
I wasn't
fuck?
enamored. I
I
wasn't
was just
enamored,
bored and found it stupid, but you know.
But I've got.
Why did you
like-
finish it? What were you
I'll be
thinking?
honest, right? I'll totally tell you why I finished it because I got fair
Okay.
way in when I was doing it for play my game bits,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then when I looked it up, it only lasts 3 hours, right? And
Oh.
most of the chapters are only about 30 minutes long. So I was just like, well, I'm intrigued enough to try and find out what's happening, find out what's happening. And I'll be honest,
Was it worth
weren't-
it?
Not really. It was
No.
all right. It. So basically, did you get as far as talking to the dude on the intercom thing? And there's a dude like comes
Not
on, he's
me.
like, and he's going, "Oh, never mind your sister. If you come and
Yeah, I
save
think I did. I
me,"
think I got that, yeah.
and all that shit, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then he's like,
Or
but
is he
you're
a
like, "Oh,
paedophile?
no, right." So you're like, I've got to get my sister first, though, but then I'll come and get you. And he's like, no, that's fine. I'll help you. So he helps you, but then he fucking tries to kill you. So when you finally get
oh
to this,
man.
well, your sister gets back. Spoilers for closer, so but your sister gets killed anyway. Right?
Oh,
All right, we should
no.
get spoilers for close to the sun.
So she gets fucked up, right? And you see her get killed.
So you
that's a
actually
bit
see her
shit.
get killed?
Yeah, you watch.
How
her
does
get
she
killed.
die?
So basically, she tells you to come and meet her in this lab thing, like
Does
a
she get
medical-
bored to death?
And then there's like a glass partition, on these glass screens, like
Oh, yeah.
viewing platform things.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can
Somebody
see
beats her to
inside.
death with a golf club.
And basically, what they've done is they've fucked up all of like physics and stuff, and there's all these weird creatures coming through this rift onto
Oh,
the boat,
no.
and that's what's killing everyone. So that's what killed everybody.
Oh no!
And while she's there, a rift opens because it's so
That's
unstable, and then these
awful.
monsters come out.
They tried to keep you from coming in. They wrote the word quarantine real big.
But
Yeah.
You ignored it.
Yeah.
But they
It's
throw
on you,
her,
dude.
they throw her against a viewing thing that you're looking through, and she like smashes into it, and then slowly slides down in her blood.
If there's something said
Um,
massive letters quarantine with blood on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
I'd
Some
be
shit's
like,
going down.
my
go
brother's
So,
fine. He's fine.
so
He
she
can
gets
call me.
killed.
He has my number.
He's
So
got my
she
number.
gets killed.
If you get an
So-
achievement, it's like you did the smart thing.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah,
Roll
exactly.
credits. Sorry, go ahead.
So
She
she
gets
gets
killed,
killed,
right?
and then the dude
Yes.
goes, "Don't worry, I can help you get off this boat. We'll do it together. Come and meet me in this tall building shit." So he says, "You
Right.
can see me, so you have to run for it, right?" And there's these fucking chase sequences with these creature things, which are a pain in the arse, right, and not enjoyable
Yes.
at all, like totally frustrating. And
Right.
sometimes it's split second timing. If you just mess it up, or just hit a little bit of the scenery, you're dead. And then you
Ugh.
have to do it all again, right? And it happens quite often. So anyway, you do this chase sequence, you get to him, and then he double crosses you and whacks you over the head and leaves you for dead, right? While this rift is happening, and all these creatures come in, and he's like, "Fuck you! I just wanted your sister's notes. I don't give no shit about you." So
Damn.
I know. So he gets all your notes and then he fucks off with those. And he's got it doesn't make any sense though, because he's like evil, but he's trying to fix it, right? But why is he then evil? I don't
It's not that
understand.
he's evil, it's that he's like driven to accomplish his goal. Like
God
all great
knows.
men.
So he wants to fix it, but he's crap at it, so he's making it worse. And then
Yes.
is it Thomas Edison, whoever it is? I can't remember the name.
Thought it
of
was
the
Nikola
scientist.
Nikola Tesla.
Tesla. So he comes over the internet
Frank
and goes,
Skinner. Frank Skinner.
"Don't
The
worry,
good one, not the
don't worry.
shit
He's double crossed you, but I'll help you, Rose, or whatever
Oh,
your
thank
name
God.
is. I'll help you."
one. Right.
So you then go up to this tower, and then before that, chapter 8. Oh my God, right? I wanted to kill it. I wanted to kill chapter 8. Can I just say?
The whole
And
chapter.
that's two. Yeah, the fucking
I don't
chapter
understand
needs
why
to
you didn't
die.
say, fuck this, I'm done.
I'll be honest with you,
Well-
Stu. I sort of drifted off about 2 minutes ago.
I was close. Can I just say I was close?
Yes,
to
okay.
doing
So, but it
what
was
this
worth
I'm
it
done.
because.
It wasn't. So
Oh.
chapter 8, right? There's a bit where you have to leg it down right. You have to run past this creature who's coming through a window, run down some stairs, flick a
Okay.
switch without stopping, and get through the
Of
door.
course not.
Right?
Oh,
If you hit, and there's all these bits of scenery in the way, if you hit any tiny bit of it, you fail. And
Aw,
it took
jeez.
me, no word of a lie, about 30 goes to do it
Oh
Oh,
dear.
before I
God.
finally did it.
and at no
honestly.
point did you think, you know what, I'm just going to leave this
But,
alone.
no, well, I nearly did, but I'm like,
I
I'm
must conquer this game.
I'm 2 chapters off the end now. It's like
Ugh,
probably 30
shit.
minutes
That's
if I do
too-
it without stuff.
That's 30 minutes
Oh.
of your life you never get back.
I just want to
So-
bring in. Sorry, Stu. I know you, but there's
I'm
Fraser.
mid-flow, man. I'm mid-flow.
Sorry, you are mid-flow. I'll let you carry on. Go.
I'm mid-flow.
Go.
Yeah, so you get to the end, right? You kill the dude. He gets electrocuted.
Yes.
You
Oh, sweet.
blow this shit up. You escape off the boat. And then Nikola Tesla, even though he appears that he's been killed, hasn't been killed. Right.
Ooh, plot twist.
So you're like, what? What is going on? So you're saying to him, but how are you not dead or whatever? Because he was in the explosion of the tower and it all went critical. And he just said, and then you're like, what about my sister? And you said my sister might survive. How can she survive when she's already dead? And he just does some cryptic bullshit, and then the game ends, and that were it. It's just like,
That
Yeah.
sounds cack.
yeah, but at least I finished it. It's
sound
another
cack.
game done. I don't know.
Used
So
to
in the chat we have Ian James Bevan, Pillow of Soft, who said, "Put it on your gravestone." Nurse lied. That's about me.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
Yeah, that's
Fraser says, "Oi, oi,
Although, to
Sally."
be fair, that would be pretty funny on any tombstone.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, that would be good
Nurse.
actually. Fraser said, "Oi,
Nurse
oi,
lied.
Savaloy." Fraser wouldn't put up with this bullshit with this game, Stu. He wouldn't.
he
he
wou-
wouldn't
he
have played
wouldn't.
this game.
He wouldn't have got past chapter 1. I
No,
don't
he would have
think.
been this shit.
True. Smart people quit after chapter 1.
Fraser's from the Seal podcast, everyone. Seal
Yeah.
podcast. Give it a
Yes, go
download.
check it out.
I always skip the first
Yeah.
20 minutes because they talk about football, but apart from that, it's pretty great.
Can you imagine, though, having a video game podcast where you load the first 20
Honestly.
minutes with bullshit that people
Honestly,
don't care
get
about?
professional.
Ugh.
Talking about the
Yeah,
game.
really.
You know?
Exactly.
And also,
All right, anything else to
also
say
don't
about
be a
Close to the
podcast
Sun
where
there,
one of the
Stu?
hosts doesn't play anything because of stupid family reasons.
Yeah, really. And then
Yeah.
comes on to whinge about, I'm bloated.
Hey, dying.
bloated and I'm bloated. I have to
It'll
run up
help you
4
feel
flights
Get
of stairs.
professional.
4
I don't know
flights
how
of
my house works.
stairs. I don't know how
Yeah.
to do
All right.
this. Where's the screwdriver?
I assume you're done with Close to the Sun stuff?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to talk because Chinny's played fuck all.
I have
Um,
played one thing.
Well,
yes,
I know,
you
I can
have.
see that, but can I assume? I don't get this. I don't see it on either of y'all's lists, and I don't. Maybe it's just a given that you played it. Did y'all play Return to Grace?
No.
Nope.
Correct me if I'm wrong. In the chat, we said let's pick
I
another
know
game,
we
and you
did.
said Close to Return to Grace, Stu.
I know I did.
Okay, so I just
I've
want to
been
make sure I'm
busy.
not
I've
crazy.
been busy. No, we'll do it
I
next
hear
week.
ya.
We'll do that next
We'll
week.
do it next week.
We'll do it next week.
Play it. I've got so much to say about it. That's all
Ooh,
I'm going to say
great.
for now.
Well, I played
But-
Bluey, by the way.
I did not play Bluey. I have nothing to say about Bluey, and neither does Chinny apparently. So you can talk about Bluey. In
I'll
a
tell
minute,
you how
but
shit
please
that
play.
game is.
Please play Return to Grace. Everybody out there, it's 2
Okay.
hours. I'm really curious to talk about it next week. I have a lot. I've got like 3 pages.
Okay.
I've got 3 pages of notes.
Oh, wow.
That's not wow,
Right.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll play for
Yes.
next week.
All right.
So
worries.
play it, finish it. Let's talk about it. You
Wow,
promise,
finish
Chinny?
it even.
I promise. I promise I will play it for
Okay,
next
cool.
week. And
Yeah,
that's a
let's do that.
scout's promise.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I play Rocket League. I play Destiny 2. There's nothing new to talk about with those. So instead, I will move on to Delivery Inc.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Have we played this before? Is this not the thing we played before?
No, you're thinking of Total Accurate delivery
yeah, I
service
am.
or whatever.
Yeah, I am.
Yes. And I talked about European Truck Simulator 2 last week, but this week they had it on special on Steam, and I was looking at it and I'm hemming and hawing and I'm like, all right, fine, let's just do it. Let's cross the Rubicon. Let's pull the trigger, man. Let's make this happen. So this is a game from the same developers as 911112.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know? I mean, do you know what? As soon as I saw this come on screen, then I thought, God, this looks like that police game.
It's exactly
911.
like Stummies.
And the twist is?
It's a much bigger pill.
Yeah, it's exactly like 911, except instead of sending police officers to get shot at by psychopaths on meth, you're sending cars to pick up people who are psychopaths who demand heated seats.
All right, so you're not
that
delivering
said,
stuff.
You are, well, okay, hang on. Let me just explain. Just wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's 3 things that need to be delivered before we get to the DLC, which I don't have and I probably won't buy, but who knows? You can deliver people, you can deliver packages, you can deliver food. And sometimes you have to deliver like combinations of those things.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, but it's, you're managing all these different cars. You're the dispatcher basically. And something will show up on the map. And first of all, these maps are all real cities. So you can download any city you want. And like, I looked up the tiny little town we live in here in Wisconsin, and like it has that town. And I was like, damn, okay, I see you. So, yeah. And, things will pop up and it'll be like the hot food icon shows up, and then you can send a car to that location. If it gets there too quickly, it will tell you the food's not ready yet. And then the car will just wait. And then when the food is ready, you'll load it in. Yeah. And then it has a delivery address as soon as you take the job. Like as soon as, the food's ready, it'll load it into the car and then you'll go to the delivery address. But I had a driver who had a negative trait. Each driver has positive and negative traits. And this driver's negative trait was scatterbrained. And I was like, and so food wasn't getting delivered. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Turns out the scatterbrained person needed to be told where to drop the food off.
Oh, I see. So is this like if Chinny were driving your car then? Is that
I
what
beg
that's
your fucking pardon.
I don't know that would be the case. It wasn't about disarming a burglar alarm. In that case,
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
it would be.
Chinny would have been perfect for that.
Right. It is,
So
we're
I
having
have this
we're having a
person, the
laugh.
scatterbrained person, I was like, I'm having them on the side. They'll be available if I need them. But in the meantime, if I don't need them, I'm not using them. Fuck that person. But then I realized, no, I should have them delivering food, because then you can level them up. And when you level someone up, one of the perks you get when you level up is remove one of the negative traits. So eventually I was able to train the negative trait out of the person by leveling them up. Ironically, well, not ironically, but amusingly, one of the other negative traits is allergies. So they can't deliver food because they have allergies. They have
That does
allergies
sound like
to
me.
certain
That
food.
does sound like
Yeah,
me.
It does sound
exactly.
like
There you
Chinny,
go.
doesn't it? Scatterbrained
So-
and allergic.
Yeah. So I was like, well, wait a
Did it
minute.
say,
You're not
did it
gonna
say
be able to...
massive twat next to it as well?
No, that was the stew car. Anyway, heyo. But I was like, you can't like train someone not to be allergic. Well, in this game, you can. It makes perfect sense to be.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was ridiculous, but it was fun. Yeah, this is a lot more fun than I thought it would be. And I think it's because it's less stressful
Yeah.
than 911 dispatch, because, there aren't people dying or,
It just
suffering.
looks boring. It just looks
Does
boring.
well.
I'm looking at it like it's just cars moving
For people
around
that want,
city.
for the audio listeners, it looks like you're looking at Google Maps, or like when you order an Uber and you follow the car
Yeah.
on the map.
Yeah, it literally is that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the game is, and it's just a management game, so it's obviously not going to be for everybody. But I found it actually pretty enjoyable. They have special scenarios too, so that when you play the campaign, you're building up to New Year's Eve, and then on New Year's Eve, like everybody wants to go to Times Square in New York, and you're in New York for the first campaign level, and there's this other dude who's like fucking with you, and he puts up flyers that are like, "This service is shit. Don't go with them." And you have the choice to like pay him off or fight back. And the mayor's talking to you, and you're like, "Can you help me fuck with this dude?" And he's like, "I can't be involved in that personally, but what if you try this?"
Why is there a
So
police
it's kinda
car on the
interesting.
map?
Well, there's police cars everywhere, and if you are running late, you can tell your driver to step on it, and there's like a switch in the bottom right corner of the screen you can click to make the car go faster. But
Right.
if you cross paths with a cop, you will get busted and you'll have a ticket.
I see.
You know how that feels in real life, don't you?
I do know how I think we all do. Have you all
Hey,
never gotten tickets?
So
Nope.
somebody got pulled over in front of my house today.
Well, all right.
Me and
then.
Rosa watched that person get a ticket.
Unfolded.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've never had a speeding fine in
Well,
my
we're
life.
very
I've been-
proud.
I've been-
Perfect
I've-
checkup at the doctor and never gotten
Yeah.
speeding.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
Stu
yeah.
amazing?
I've been pulled
Touch wood,
over
touch wood.
once, and he breathalyzed me, and I was like, "Good luck with that, buddy." And then
And also, you're officer. I'm never gonna die of a heart attack. So
yeah,
fuck
also
you.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
no, yeah. And he said, he says, "Oh, I'm feeling generous today. I ain't gonna give you. Have you got any points on your license?" I says, "Oh, actually, I have, because I went for a red light about a week before that. So I had like points on my license, 3 points on my license." And then he said, "Do you want any more?" And I went, "Yeah, pile them on,
Oof.
dickhead." You
Yeah,
know,
they're all
like,
flats, aren't they?
they were
I
just
got
like, why
years
did you
and
ask me that, you knob?
This is years and years ago, right? I got pulled up
Wasn't
on
Stu
like,
saying something earlier about flow? Go ahead, Stu.
yeah. I pulled up on my motorbike when I was about 17, 18, right?
Yes.
And I had a bald tire. There was a bald spot on one of my tires.
You had a motorbike.
I did. I used to ride a motorbike.
never
when I was
knew that
about
about
18.
you.
I know,
Damn, the
I know.
revelations
We've been
are
doing
coming
this
out
show for
tonight.
60
I
years,
know.
and I feel like we know
Yeah, but it was
everything
when I
about
was-
everything.
It was when I
I
was
know, right?
18. It's a long time ago. 18,
I was a
19.
rebel. I was a loner.
But here's the thing, right? I'd been
Good
a
Stu
week-
on a motorbike.
a
I
week
can't see you on a
before-
motorbike, Stu. The story stops
know.
there.
Photoshop it,
I
please.
know. A week before, I'd noticed this bald spot. So I went to my local motorbike garage to like the dude, and I said, "Look, I've got can you change my tire on my wheel because there's a bald patch on it?" And he went, "Oh, I haven't got one of them in stock, mate. I'll order one in, but it'll probably be Tuesday or whatever, right?" So I was like, "Well, I'm like, can you not do it sooner?" He's like, "No, I'll have to wait till it comes." So anyway, so I'm riding my bike, stopped at some traffic lights, some fucking police car behind me. Obviously sees the frigging
Oh.
bald spot on my tire. Gets out of
Evening all,
gets
evening all.
out of his car, comes round to
What's all
me
this
like,
then?
while the traffic lights are still on red, and he went, "Can you pull over at the next available location after the traffic lights?"
I
are
don't think you should be driving that fucking bike.
So I
No, I can't pull over. Fuck you.
so I drives down. Well, yeah, I wouldn't have got very far. So I drives down, pulls
Not bad
over. He
attitude.
pulls up behind me, gets off, and he's like, "Do you realise you've got a bald spot on your rear tire?"
Do you
And I was
realise
like,
you shouldn't be driving a bike because
No.
you never told Mike about it?
Totally honest, right? So I was like, "Yeah, no, I am aware of that." I said, I went to my local garage to get it fixed, and he didn't have one in stock. So there's one ordered, and it's coming.
He said,
Oh,
"Whoa,
yeah.
whoa! I
I
don't
bet
know your
he's-
life story,
I
Right,
but
bet-
listen, right?
did you know?
So
Yes
he
or
went-
no?"
So he went.
And then Stu's like, "Wait, listen, come
so,
back,
right,
officer,
so
come
he
back."
went. No, so he went. Not on your bike, that though, is it? Right, and I said, "Well,
What?
no, because he hasn't come in yet." And he went, "Yeah, no, honestly," I
that's
said, "You can ring the
convenient.
garage. You can ring the garage
Yeah.
and ask them. You can ring them. I'll give you my name. You can ask them." And he was like, "I haven't got time for that."
You got time to pull me over, that
Right.
dickhead.
And then he went,
Yeah,
he
right.
went, "Yeah, well, that'll be 3 points on your license. 3
Yeah.
points. Yeah, we'll sort that out." So he starts writing out this ticket, right? This is
So
best.
we have all gotten in
Hold
trouble
on,
with the
hold
law
on.
before.
Well,
Yeah, go
I've
on,
never
go on.
been done for speeding though.
Hold on.
So then he says,
Go on.
right? So I
I
said,
never shot anybody. But
I
I,
said,
have
I'm on
committed
my-
murder. But I never
"I'm
shot
on my way to work. What do I do?" And he's like, "Well, you could ride your bike to work, I guess, but well, I could wait round the corner and then give you another 3 points." Right? I was like, "You
Damn.
fucking twat!" Right? So I
Guys are
said,
shit.
"Are you really going to do that?" And he went, "No, but I might." And I was just like, "Oh, fuck
Wow.
off!" You know, when you're just like, "You're
Officers,
a twat.
Yeah.
goddamn law.
You're an absolute twat, right?"
Yeah, yeah.
So wait till he gone. I
It's
just
like
went,
Cypress Hill said, this pig harassed the whole neighborhood. This pig chilled at the station.
There was no need to give me those points. He could have said, "That's fine. Make
No.
sure you get it done." It was one
Yes.
patch as well. It wasn't like the whole tire was bald. There was just one
Do you
patch.
think he's prejudiced about
Yes.
people that can't grow beards?
Maybe
Is that
that's
the
what it
problem?
was.
He's like,
I definitely didn't have a beard when I was 17 or 18. By
I
the way.
bet you did.
I didn't
Well,
have
the
anything.
point is, nowadays you're dealing with different kinds of bald spots.
Hey, I don't think you have any room to talk about being bald. Can
Sure, I
just
do.
say?
I'm dealing with all sorts of bald
Yeah, well, I'm
patches. It's
not.
all over my head.
Whoa,
Well, not from this
dude,
angle,
put
but
your
you
hat
know.
back on. I can't
Yeah.
see.
What?
Jesus
The
Christ.
light is radiating off
Hey,
of the
whoa, you
skull.
want to be careful. Chinny might start chalking that up.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Right.
Can I get back to delivery?
No,
ink now?
we haven't played
We
anything.
finished delivery.
Haven't it? No, go on, carry on.
There's
Carry
not
on.
what more can you say about this
carry
game.
on, carry on, please.
Holy shit! Is this how this works now?
No, just
Yeah.
carry on.
Wait, you spent 20 minutes talking about a fucking game that your own admission you didn't enjoy.
wasn't 20
and I'm
minutes. I
supposed
think
to
you're-
stop
I
talking
think
about
you're
this game
exaggerating.
that I did enjoy because you had to tell a fascinating story
we all
about
just-
a pig who pulled you over.
Can we just get along,
And
please?
now
We've
I
got a
have
lot
to
of-
move
We've got a
on.
lot of games to get through.
Goddamn.
Dude.
Come
You're
on,
talking
dude,
about
go.
a game.
I
Keep
know,
going.
so
That
maybe
looks
you
like
should let me
Google
get
Maps.
through
I'm just
mine.
saying.
What the fuck?
Just keep going,
Just
keep
saying.
going, keep going.
All right, I will keep going. So here's the thing. First of all, somebody left me a review that was 4 stars, and it tells you at the end of each day, like, here's who left you reviews and here's what they were. And this person said 4 stars. Amazing service. If I could leave 6 stars, I would. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why not leave 5? What are you doing? Well, it's because one of my drivers has a trait that says rude, and it just has a chance to occasionally decrease the stars of the review.
I see.
So where if someone would normally
So
get a
it should
5-star
have been
review,
5,
it just
yeah.
drops it to 4.
Yeah.
Right. And they didn't connect that trait to this person's words in their review, so whatever, it's fine. Another person was like, "Oh, I had to wait so long for my lunch. I was very disappointed." But it tells you what you delivered, and they were ordering cheesecake. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"You're mad because your cheesecake lunch took
Yeah.
a long time? Fuck you.
Are you
I'm
not-
glad you're mad."
Are you not eating cheesecake for lunch? I eat a whole one. Why do you think I've got this B12
Well, that's why you got a
deficiency?
Yeah, exactly. So then another time, when you place an ad, you can place an ad to get better drivers or to get more business for your
I like
delivery
it.
company, right? And when you place an ad, it tells you like, okay, right, it'll give you pre-made messages to put in the ad, and you never see the ad. So I don't understand why they have these, messages, but you can edit the message. So the first ad that I posted says, "Shut up and get in." Like, that's
Nice.
the whole ad for the delivery service. And then I was like, I want to try a different, and I was hoping I would see an ad somehow, but I didn't. So the next one I wrote, "You give package, we take." So I had fun with that.
You should have put like only idiots apply.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last thing I'll say is I had someone ordered ice cream again with the fucking desserts during the lunch rush, and they ordered ice cream, and I delivered it on time, and then they gave me a 4 out of 5 review, and I was like, what the fuck? And there was no text on it, so I'm like, what is this? And then I realized, okay, on all of my cars, I upgraded them to warm seats because there are people who are like, I'll pay $50 extra if I have warm seats. It's actually not I'll pay extra. It's like this commandment, like I must have warm seats. And other people are like, I need a luxury car. It's like, fuck you and your luxury car.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I put the seat warmers on all my cars. Apparently, he didn't pick up the ice cream is what happened. And I was like, why not? And then I realized, oh, it's because I have seat warmers. It would melt the ice cream.
Just a minute.
Really?
Whoa. Just a minute.
Yes.
So you still got a 4-star review, even though you didn't even deliver the ice
Deliver the
cream.
thing.
Well, no. It's that. No, I misremembered it. This was not about someone giving me a review. This was about a situation where someone went to a place, picked up. There were 4 orders of ice cream. The car has 3 heated seats, and there's a trunk slot. So he must have put one of the ice creams in the trunk slot because that's not heated, but then left the others.
It's only delivered 1 ice cream. And
Yeah,
it
see,
could've
so
been
you
more.
see, it's a little deeper than just looking at an Uber display.
Well, yeah,
it's
I
actually a
guess.
pretty fun game. There's little elements here that keep showing up in different ways. I'm actually having a lot of fun with it, and it's not going to be for everybody. I get that, but
Does it have a
especially
demo?
if you like 911. No, there's no demo.
How
You
much
just have
was
to pull
it?
the trigger. $10.
Fucking.
Which is
Fucking
still a
hell,
lot,
tell you
I know.
what, man.
I know.
Jesus
I'm just gonna order an
Christ.
Uber,
But
and
you know
just
what?
that's only £7.
Yeah, and you can just watch it arrive on your phone.
There you go. Well, I'm having a lot of fun with Delivery Inc.
Oh,
If
good.
anybody out there thinks this might be for you,
I feel like
check it out.
I feel like I'd like this type of game, to be honest. But this feels like sort of like a side game that you'd get on Watch Dogs. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yes, it
it's
does.
Like,
I get you.
It
It
just
does, it
looks
does, it
like
does.
that kind of thing. But no, I'd like it. You know, in Assassin's Creed, when you could like send your assassins out and get them
Oh
to do
god, that
jobs.
was that really crap one, was it?
No,
Was
no,
it
no, not the
Revolution?
Tower Defense one. I mean, on there's
Oh yeah,
you
no,
could
yeah,
get them
yeah,
to
where you
do
could
jobs
just
and
go-
I know
come
what you
back.
mean. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love that
that
kind of
was
stuff.
way
And that's also
better.
in that's in No Man's Sky. There's a lot of games that have this mechanic of like a little bit of management on the side. And again, this isn't for everyone, but here's a tip: if anybody does play this, make liberal use of the pause function, because things are constantly popping up, and if you try to deal with it all in real time, it'll get very overwhelming. But when things pop up, you hit pause, you figure out who's
Sort
going
it
where,
out.
and maybe this person can do it next time, or you figure someone who's idle and you can send them to do it. So it's
Hello to James Bevan and James Alderman in the
yo.
chat. James,
Yeah.
sorry, James Bevan said Stu's hidden past. He referred to the bike.
Yeah, to me, I'm a
yeah.
dodgy motorbike.
I'm gonna buy a bike. I'm gonna buy a bike.
I had bikes for about 4 years, to be fair.
All right, we're done
Oh,
with that.
snap.
Stu, video games, go.
Yes, video games. So so I was like, we talked about playing Dead Island 2 and then realized it wasn't on PC. So I thought I'll give it a go anyway.
Give it a go anyway.
It's on
Give it a
Game
go.
Pass. It's
What's the
free
worst
to
that can happen?
play.
Yes, it is.
It's way better
Well, it's
than I
an
was
episode.
expecting.
No, I've heard it's pretty good.
Okay.
I've heard
It
it's pretty
is. I was just like, well, I thought I'll give it half an hour just to have a go of it. Right, and
Give
I
it a
can
go.
say something about it.
good. Give it a bash.
And I probably played it for about 3 hours.
Get fucked.
I fucking did.
No,
I was
way.
just like, this is pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
I do
I'm-
not and refuse to believe you.
I know. I'm not. I'll be honest, right? I'm not mad keen on the combat in this game. It's so
Which is
hit and miss.
First person smashy is not great, is it?
No, it's so inaccurate, and you're just whacking shit,
Yeah.
and everything breaks. It's like
It's
playing
like
Zelda.
The first person combat is like, you know, when you give like a toddler like a foam sword.
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
like, "Wah!" Yeah.
It's very satisfying, though.
Yeah, it's good.
You
isn't
know,
it?
it's when you do get a good hit on somebody, and it's like smash it. You can chop people's heads off with a knife.
And you can kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. So if you hit them hard enough, like hit them enough times with a knife in the face, eventually the head just flies off.
Thump.
That's like,
Always.
that's pretty good. It's
Yeah, if I was in a
brutal.
zombie world, I would want to take every zombie's head off. Like they
Yeah,
look like
you
they're dead, but
do.
I don't want to take any chances with that.
But also the side missions are pretty cool as well. I did this side mission right with this dude who was trapped in his mansion, and he was like an old actor who was like paralyzed or something, and he was sat on his roof with a rifle, and he's like, "Oh, come
Nice.
and help me!" Right? And there's like, there's a girl down there. Go and see me. And by the time you get there, the girl's been eaten by zombies anyway. So then you have to kill her as well as a zombie.
Oh dear.
I know.
Oh dear,
you
oh
just-
dear.
Then it's basically a bit like horde mode. So there's all these zombies coming. You have to just kill them all to obviously save.
So
it. Then
what
you
you're
go-
saying is it's a complex game then?
Yeah, it's very complex.
You know.
There's a lot of zombie killing with
There's a-
blood.
Do you have to? Let me ask you this: How do you send the cars out to pick up the food, Stu?
Yeah, there's definitely none of that.
No,
So,
no, that bloody
so
crap.
you befriend this like celebrity woman who's like a newscaster or interviewer or something.
Right.
The celebrity woman. So she's like, "Oh, come to my house if you need anywhere to stay. Come to my house." So you sort
Yeah.
of kill a load
Okay.
of zombies. Then you make your way to her house,
Okay.
and then this rapper dude turns up. Who
He's in the
turns up-
first one.
Whoa.
He's in the first one.
1 2
Yeah.
1 2.
So rapper dude turns up, who turns out to be the dude who can get you shit. So he's like,
In the first one, his song was "Who Do You Voodoo, Bitch."
yeah, I can
Oh,
imagine.
yeah. song.
Can imagine. And she's like, "Where have you been? You told you'd call me." And
What
this
does she
is
sound like? Mavis. Mavis.
I don't know.
Where you
that's how she
been?
sounds. Where have you been? Yeah. So he turns up, and then he's like, "Oh, you want to upgrade your shit? This is how you do it." So he tells you how to do stuff, and then you've got to go to this hotel where everyone's meant to meet up. And when I got there, it was full of zombies, obviously.
Oh God.
I know. And then I got killed a few times, and I stopped playing it.
Full of
So,
zombies taking our jobs. Hey,
but overall, it was
They don't even want
kind
to learn
of.
the language. All they want to say is brains.
they just want to come
brains.
in, take our jobs, say brains.
Yeah,
Hey.
say
I
brains.
They
want
get
non-zombie
everywhere.
to be about
Oh,
non-zombie.
bloody.
But it was
Getting
kind of fun. I had an electric machete. That was pretty cool. I had obviously like a baseball bat.
Mike
with
could do that
nails
in
in.
this Chinny's house without setting off the alarm.
Yeah, staple stuff. So, well, you could have sorted his alarm out with an electric fucking machete.
I
I'll
think if
tell
I
you.
was
Guess
if
so.
I was in a zombie apocalypse, I think a burglar alarm would be the least of my problem. Actually, no,
Yeah.
it'd be
Oh
very.
man, they're scared of
No, it'd be
burglar
very.
alarm. Oh, no, they're drawn to
no,
it.
they're drawn to it, aren't they? So
Yeah.
Drawn to
actually,
it,
it'd be very high on my problems.
Yeah, in this game, like you've got to be careful because some houses have alarms in them. So if you trip an alarm, it sort
Ah.
they all come
Oh,
running.
See,
snap.
what I was saying was
Plot
relevant
Plot twist.
to the show.
Yeah.
Chinny's actual alarm is connected to this game.
You've
So
got to be careful
someone
when you
who
loot.
knows
You've got to
sets
take
off the alarm.
take the battery out of cars before you loot it because obviously the car alarm will go off.
Oh,
What's
dear.
kind of cool as well with the car batteries, if a zombie's like comes towards you after you've taken it out, if you throw it at it, it electrocutes the zombie.
That's fun.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of cool. You can just throw batteries
That's
at stuff. It's got a lot
Ah.
going. But do you know what I really liked about it? Just the atmosphere.
The
'Cause you
vibe.
sort
The
of-
vibe.
Yeah, the
Shiv.
vibe. Because you get off this like the plane crashes, right? You're on the plane, it all starts on there, and then it crashes.
Crashing and playing, that does kill my vibe sometimes.
It does kill the vibe. But you get out into LA, and it's obviously the Hollywood Hills, and it's just blue. You know, like you can feel like there's heat coming out of your
Lovely
telly.
weather. Lovely
Yeah,
weather.
beautiful weather, but obviously there's zombies everywhere.
Well, it's not far from the real LA, really. When I was
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
it's pretty
pretty
much the
much.
same thing.
Pretty much it. But yeah, I love the
Have
setting.
you thought about Dave Chappelle?
I love the setting. I love like the interactions. It's kind of funny. The script. It's way better because it was in development limbo for donkey's years. This game wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I
Dude, it
remember
was-
when a game was in like 6 years of development, we used to say it was
Yeah.
vaporware.
Yeah.
But these days, 6 years of development is like normal. So it's
Yeah.
kind of weird. But I think it did have some problems, didn't it? Dead Island 2.
I did think it was going to be total trash. I'll be honest with you.
It's,
But
it's unusual
it's
that a
way
game
better
gets
than I thought.
delayed for so long and then turns out to be good. That's very
Yeah, it's
unusual.
pretty. It's way better than I thought it was
Very
going to be.
You thought about Dave Chappelle?
I definitely recommend you. Crikey. I definitely recommend you give it a go, Chinny. I think you would
Oh yeah,
probably like
no,
it.
it's co-op as well, isn't it? But
Yeah. We should maybe do some co-op.
yeah, we could do. Yeah.
Yeah, we've not done that in ages.
I mean, me trying to play, I told Marsh to buy Helldivers 2 like about
dear.
3
Wow.
weeks ago,
That was showing up on the Discord today.
and I said, like, Marsh, everybody's talking about this Helldivers 2. It sounds like just our game, like co-op,
yeah,
stupid.
it's great co-op.
He bought it. He's been addicted to it and said, "When are you playing it?" I only bought it yesterday, and I still haven't played it.
No, of course you're not.
No,
Well, you haven't played any games to be fair, so who
No.
knew?
no.
But it's good. Dead Island 2. Yeah, I'll give it a whistle. It's pretty decent. It's way better than I thought.
Whizzle, whizzle, whizzle.
Yep. There you go. That's me done. Are we going back
Okay.
to do because Ginny's only got one game on his
I've only
list?
got one
Well, go
game.
ahead, talk about your game, Chinny. You
One
haven't talked
little
about anything
game.
yet. Go ahead.
One little
Go
game.
for it.
Yeah.
I played Balatro.
Oh, they're not gambling game. Can we just clarify?
It's not.
Well,
gambling.
I mean, not IRL gambling, but it is virtual gambling.
Can we talk? I mean, we probably won't have
So
time.
this is a reference to a news article that SLH
So
posted.
let's talk a little bit about this. So basically, what's happened is they originally rated
Sorry,
it
Chinny.
That's right.
3 years or older. So that's how it was
Yes.
originally rated. So anyone over
Yes.
3 could play Balatro,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yes.
And the guy's bemoaning now because it's been taken off the Switch. I think it's been taken off this PlayStation Store, and Xbox are looking at it, apparently. So that's what's happening because they basically looked at it again and said, this has got themes of gambling in it.
Oh,
Which
well,
it does.
You can't argue with that.
No,
Yeah.
So, but he's turning around. So the guy who developed it's going, yeah, but it's not really gambling. There's no money involved or anything. But
Mm.
it's you need to know how to play poker to play it for the first.
My argument with that is the way Nintendo sell Pokemon, and they've just introduced or they've just announced a game where you can open packs digitally.
Oh no,
on
I
your
don't
phone.
disagree with you. That's
That is
gambling.
the same
It is.
That's some
dopamine hit.
hypocrisy. it
Oh,
is.
absolutely, it is absolutely.
But
and I
but
don't
because this is literally poker,
poker.
it's
Right.
not disguised in a
But-
Pokemon
No,
skin.
it
Right.
isn't. No, it isn't.
But they're not asking for money at all.
No,
No.
they're not. But I don't think he can argue. I mean, if I
I
was
think
him,
he can.
I don't think he can.
I think he can.
If I were him, right?
said he
when
can.
they first originally rated it 3 and over, I would have probably questioned it and gone, "Yeah, it's sort of poker based. Is that
No,
correct?"
you wouldn't, because that would cut down on your ability
No,
to sell
who-
copies.
How many 3-year-olds are going to be playing this game?
That's not the point, dude. Why did
I
it get pulled
think-
off the Switch?
Because it was rated, so they've decided it's not rated correctly. So until it gets a proper rating again, they can't put it on.
Well, it's
I
not
would-
the fact that
yeah,
it's ESRB 10.
Also, then if that's the case, then all poker games should be rated fairly.
They are VR.
yeah, exactly.
PokerStar VR's 18 and over.
Yeah, but why is
I
there
had
so
a
many
look.
10-year-olds in there?
Well, you can rate it
Because I
however
think
you want.
sometimes, Chinny, this is going to blow your mind, but I think sometimes some 10-year-olds play games they're not supposed
Yeah,
to play.
they do.
No. But
So, yeah,
I think he
all
has
of
an
them-
argument. I
all-
think because this
I don't
isn't.
think he has.
I think because Pokemon is more gambling than this.
No, it is.
But that's not the point.
that's-
Look, the reason for E ESRB putting a
Yeah.
10 plus rating on games that have gambling themes is because the thinking is it normalizes the idea of gambling. And you're more likely to do it, and you shouldn't really be dealing with that
Or
until
you're
you're old enough
almost-
to actually
yeah.
gamble.
You're almost training a
Why
child
can't
to
they just
gamble.
play a game where they just chop somebody's head off instead?
I think those are probably rated 10 plus as well.
But
You
the
know?
I don't
other
know
thing,
for sure.
I don't think this guy can be too salty about this either because he's made
fucking.
fucking $2 million in 2
It
days.
has
or
made a
whatever.
lot of money, and
And-
I mean, if it's just a little pause until they sort out the
Yeah,
actual
exactly.
rating, then so
They'll be
what? It's
fine.
only gonna... I
Exactly.
don't think he is salty. What makes
No,
you say
no,
he's salty? I
he's
just-
he's been moaning about it. Saying
I don't think he's been moaning.
Yeah,
what has he
he
said?
has. He's like, oh, you've taken it
I
off
think
the
that's a harsh
stores or whatever.
categorization of what he said.
He's been having a bit of a moan, but he can't be. It's just he's just got to wait it out. It's do you know what I mean? It's just one
Yes,
of those.
I agree.
things.
I think he is.
So can I talk about the game now?
No,
Okay.
Nope. There's more news.
That's okay.
nope, that's it.
No, that's fine.
No, you can go.
Oh,
carry
thanks. Cheers.
on. That's all right.
I played more of it. I am in the debate mentally whether I should delete it
Ooh.
Oh wow, because
really?
it's too addictive.
because this is crack cocaine, my friend.
Well,
Actually, he said that. Go ahead, Stu.
Don't call it that. He basically came out and said, "Please, can people stop saying it's like virtual crack because
But it
that's
is.
making it worse." He says that's making it
Yeah.
worse.
But
That
it
is making it
is.
worse, Jenny. So you're part of the problem for
no,
this guy. Come
no,
on.
but the problem is the game is like crack. Like
Maybe he should have made a less addictive game. That's
my-
like people saying, could you please stop referring to meth as being like crack? No, make a less addictive drug and we'll stop calling it crack.
I had 2 nights this week where I went to bed way too late, later than I
This is
thought.
why you're all sickly and bloated. It's
I-
because you're not getting
when
enough
I-
sleep.
When I have she's 5 months next week, 5-month-old baby, and a job, and also a very busy week this week as well.
Yes.
Right. I was like, this is not good. This game is not good for me right now. I like,
Yeah.
an Alan Wake 2 where I go in it and I'm like, I almost like Alan Wake 2 because it's almost like a shit place to be. It's like, this is too scary. I don't want to be in there for very long because it's like, oh, right, I'm done with that. That's stressful. But Balatro is just like, oh god, I just gotta keep clicking the things.
New Jokers. What's
And
the
I-
next Joker
I
going to be?
started to do. I thought, what if I just combine Balatro with something else? So I love the thick of it. So I was watching the thick of it with the DVD commentary on. So I'm like, I'm sort of doing 2 things. So I'm not completely like wrecking my life, but then, but like it's just too much. And the other thing is, I play poker. Well, before Rosa was born, I used to play in a poker league with poker people.
Yeah,
And one of them, the captain of my snooker team, Graham, his son, who's 18, who actually listens to this show now and again. He likes the show.
Hey.
He found out that I did a podcast and then he tracked me down, basically. I didn't tell him the name of the show. He just tracked me down. I said, his name's Charlie. I said, Charlie, you like poker. Try this Balatro. And he was like, all right. He doesn't play loads of games, but he plays bits and bobs. I said, it's on Steam. Download it. Give it a go. It's a tenner. And he was like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll do it. 2 days later, text me like, what the fuck have you done? What have you done? All right. And he's just texting me all the time. Pictures like, I've got this far. I've got this far. Because at first he was really interested because he'd never played a roguelike game before. He's sort of a very casual gamer. He's 18, but he's never really experienced like a roguelike. And he's like, I'm devastated. I've lost all my progress. Like, it's no, you keep playing. And he's like, so you build your deck and you build more jokers and then you'll get more jokers, but you'll get new jokers. And he's like, oh, okay. Then you've got to level up your hands. And he's like, oh, okay. Then he texts me again. And he's like, I get it now. And he's just in.
Oh, yeah. He does.
And I'm like,
I really get it.
And I said to his dad, I said, Graham, I feel like I've just given heroin to a crack dealer. It's really bad. So yeah, I've debated whether I should delete it, but I haven't deleted it yet. Maybe I'll just like play it at work or something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's not good. I haven't finished a run yet. I haven't done it, but yeah, I played it for like 4 hours this week, but that's a lot for me, who's someone who
it
isn't
is.
playing any video games.
No time to play games.
Like, but that the only time I have to play games is when Rosa and Tara are asleep, which is usually about 10, 11 o'clock. So playing for 2 hours, 3 hours a night is bad because I woke up feeling like shit.
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
And then
So basically,
Rosa wakes up at 6 and goes, "Fucking party time," you know.
yeah, she does.
Mm.
Yeah, but so basically, PlayStack or Local Funk or whatever it's his creator. This is what he said about
Go
the
on.
rating problem. He said, as PlayStack noted, Balatro itself has nothing to do with gambling. The rating change is totally unfounded. Local Funk, his creator. What are we in there? Local Funk, its creator, is also said to be staunchly anti-gambling. PlayStack said this exact discussion happened with Peggy back in October. Back then, the game was originally rated 18 plus, right? So originally it was rated 18 plus before being shifted to 3 plus, and nothing has changed between then and now. As it works to get Balatro back on sale, he said, "We thank you for your patience and support." Right, so you'd have just accepted the 18 plus rating, wouldn't you? Because he says nothing
no,
to do with gambling,
clearly
but
he
it's
didn't.
gambling themes, though, isn't it?
But it's a gambling theme, but it's not a gambling
Yeah.
game, and there's an
It
important
isn't.
difference.
I get that, but this is introducing. If I say an 8-year-old was playing this, it's introducing them to the game of poker.
So is
regardless of
Pokemon.
which-
Absolutely.
So is Pokemon introducing the
Right.
concept of gambling?
Well, Pokemon is introducing them to the idea of enslaving animals.
Yeah, it is.
In a
yeah, but
cute
no, but
little
like
ball.
any game with a loot box or unlockables is introduced.
No, I
Right,
get
that's
that, but
that's a
then
gambling
he-
mechanics, Chinny, but that's not gambling theme. It's
No,
this
it
looks
isn't.
like a goddamn slot machine. This looks like video
It
poker.
fucking does.
Like, let's be real.
It's got flashing
It does.
lights. It's
And
got
that's
the
fine.
deck
That's
of
not a
cards.
problem.
It isn't.
Right.
But I agree. I don't think this is a game kids should be playing. You know what I mean? I don't think it's appropriate for
I'd
kids to be
rather them-
playing.
What they should be doing is riding around on a motorcycle and telling cops to fuck off.
I'd rather
That's
Rosa
what
play this than Pokemon, if I'm honest.
Well, you can
If
fight
I-
with her about that.
If
when
I
she's
got,
old
if
enough.
when you know Rosa's like 7, 8 years old, and I walk into a room and she's playing Balatro, I'm like, that's my girl.
Nice.
That's my
Nice.
girl.
But yeah, I mean,
Dad,
yeah,
I just
I
need
think
another
he just-
20 quid. I just need to go to the casino. It's like, well, shit, what have I done?
I just think he needs to suck it up and take it on the chin because it is what it is.
I don't know that he did. He said anything that isn't indicating that he's just being cool about it.
Well, he's not because he's like, oh, this is totally unfounded.
No, that was the company, wasn't it? Wasn't that a spokesperson for the company saying
No,
that?
that's just him. It's a one-man company, so he's one person,
I guess I read the article wrong then.
a one-person developer. It's called PlayStack. the
Oh, let
company,
me
but
put it
It's
this way.
one guy. It's a
Stop
solo
being
developer.
a greedy bastard.
Yeah, yeah. I think you've
Okay.
got enough cash. Just take it
You
on
got
the chin.
enough of it.
You'll be fine.
Pillow of Soft in the chat says, I bought Balatro and I should love it, but something about it isn't doing it for me. I feel bad because I'm the person who's not enjoying crack at the moment.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing though. Look, that is good. That's healthy.
You know,
That is healthy. Playing this game non-stop is not healthy.
we're all just on the streets, just on the curb, just like like that, and you're walking past
Yeah,
us going, I don't
yeah.
get it, man. I don't.
Yeah, I hope you stay that way because if it does suddenly click with you, you're in trouble.
So have you two been playing? Stu,
No,
you've been
I'll
playing.
be-
It's on your list. Oh, Stu's cut out.
For most of my time. to
You
be
cut
fair.
it. You cut off there, Stu. Say that again.
I said I have. I've sort of been playing another game which has taken up most of my time.
It's on
this
your
week,
list
so-
though. Did you play it at all?
No, I didn't. I just left it on there.
So,
'Cause, yeah.
but that's not good because when I do the database,
Well, I didn't play it this week, so you
so
can
I've
take
just
it off your
took-
database.
Jesus
it off.
Christ.
Because I know we're playing
This
it
is
in
a big
future weeks, so
problem.
I was like, what's the point in leaving taking it
Yeah,
off?
but when
you
we
know?
go back to that episode in the database, you'll be like, "Oh, we played Balatro that week, and it wasn't true."
Well, I guess that
You're
is.
lying
That's why-
to the listeners.
That's why this list has to be fucking.
That's your anal OCD kicking in. That
All
is.
right, are we ready to move on? Or are we going to complain about the list some more?
The
Yeah, it's
list,
just complaining
please. The
this-
list.
Okay, is it my turn
yes,
then?
It's your turn again.
Okay, great. So I want to talk a little bit about MMOs because for some reason I started a new character on Guild Wars 2 and I started playing Star Wars: The
Why?
Old Republic again.
But why?
And I did realize why. I can tell you why.
Why?
I'm thinking about it a lot actually.
Why?
I thought we were leaving that joke behind.
No, the Y is fine. It's just the
Wasn't
the
I ordered to
lesbians.
leave that behind last week?
No, the catchphrase
Anyway.
Y is fine. The lesbians will
Oh,
leave
okay.
behind. We're moving on.
Oh,
from
I
the
see.
yeah, we
lesbians.
moved on
I guess I
from
was
them a long
confused
time
about what
ago.
I needed
But the
to leave. Anyway,
why?
whatever.
No, we're
I don't
keeping
care.
it.
All right, shut the fuck up. All right, so here's the thing. When you start a lot of video games, especially MMOs,
Yeah.
they are
Yeah,
chucking advancement at you and dopamine with, like, you push the button, yay, it's like Eddie Izzard said about going into France, and you go to Champagne and they're like, oh, you've crossed the street, Champagne. So they are chucking these dopamine moments at you when
Yeah.
you
Give me another
level
one of
up
those, dude. Give me
in-
another one of those.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you level up in an MMO, it's such a good feeling.
Well, that's like you
score
play
goals in Rocket League.
you play Call of Duty, like, but that's why you prestiged in Call of Duty, wasn't it? Just to keep that
Exactly.
going, you know.
Yeah, oh, totally. So what I'm saying is, in an MMO, when you start out, like I said, they're chucking stuff at you, right? It's so satisfying to be leveling up and getting better weapons and stuff. The more you play, the more you plateau. And you reach these points where it's like, okay, if I can grind for another 2 hours, then I'll get to the next level. So I like starting over because it's feeding me these dopamine hits every 5 seconds. And I wish a game developer would figure out a way to, I think it would be easy. Make the level cap 500 levels so that every 30 minutes you're leveling up and you just keep getting that dopamine rush.
Have you if you want dopamine hits, there's a game that I was thinking like Balatro.
I tried it.
Yeah,
It didn't give me that
ooh.
dopamine rush.
No.
I just found it annoying because in roguelike, you have to start over again and again and again. Now, this is the point I was making. You get that dopamine rush from starting over in a roguelike,
Oh yeah.
but I don't get that dopamine rush from a roguelike because I'm so frustrated when I lose. I don't like losing. In an MMO, you never really lose. Even when you die, it's just you respawn somewhere
Yeah, but
else.
if you play it, you could win.
Yeah, that's
How
true.
do you win Balatro?
You get to the end of the rounds and you win.
That's the end of the round. Can you win
No,
the
no,
game?
no. Yeah, you get to 8 antes and you win. Yeah.
And it just says, you win!
Yeah, you win, and then you can unlock an endless mode. But then when you win, you can change the
Okay.
difficulty.
Fair enough. I didn't realize there was an
Yeah,
actual
no, I
way to
didn't know
win
that.
game.
I just thought it was never ending.
So anyway, I think there's something about that whole starting over thrill and the early advancement and the fact that I've plateaued in New World, for instance, and this is my third character in New World. I reached this plateau where there's still missions, there's still stories, there's still quests, but I log in and I'm like, okay, I can do these quests in order to help make the community safe. But I'm not as motivated by that as I am the excitement of leveling up and getting new gear and stuff like that. Because that's the other thing. You hit the level cap, there's no new gear. It's just you got what you've got, and that's
Tough titties.
So,
One of the best things when
the
you
things that-
prestiged in Call of Duty was like seeing all
Yeah.
the unlocking everything again.
Start
It was
all
like,
over.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that same thing going on with me in Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars: The Old Republic. To be fair, I haven't played a whole lot of Star Wars: The Old Republic, so I just got to the point, for instance, where you get a ship, which is still in the prologue, which is crazy. I've played that game for like 30 hours, but it's different characters, and I haven't really continued with it very much, so I'm going to maybe continue with it. But the other thing about Star Wars: The Old Republic, that came out in 2011.
Crazy.
It's an old game. I don't care about the graphics really, but the mechanics are pretty frustrating. So you still have to right click and drag the mouse around to look around, which is really annoying. In Guild Wars 2, you press a button and then the mouse becomes your looking, which is just how it ought to be. Like that's every game.
Which is
now,
the better
you know?
one, Guild Wars 2 or The Old Republic?
In terms of how you look around, it's
No,
easily
just
Guild
generally.
Wars 2. And
Generally.
oh, in general, well, it depends on what you are looking for, Chinny. You see, because
Just give me
the reason I
one.
went back to these is because I subscribed to some Reddits that have to do with MMOs, and people keep asking like, "What's the best MMO in 2024?" And there's always this discussion, and the number one responses are always Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars: The Old Republic. There's some people who say Black Desert Online, and there's other people, but New World is never listed as the best MMO, which I don't really get because I think New World is a pretty good MMO, but it doesn't have a lot of end game content, and the developers are have their heads up their asses, but whatever. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Guild Wars 2 is probably the best MMO right now, but
Cool.
The Old Republic was made by BioWare back in the day when they knew how to make a game. So You know,
No,
it's
they're
got
just
good characters and
confused.
story.
They go, "We need to make a game." They go, "I don't know. I'll check the bins."
I'll check the bins.
So, those are some
Guild
thoughts
Wars
about
2
MMOs.
looks like the game. You know that trope of gamers when they're locked in their mum's basement or whatever, and then you get
Well,
then
yeah.
the camera zooms into the basement and the guy's just on a PC playing a game. That's what Guild Wars. I imagine them to be playing Guild Wars 2.
Sure. By the way, speaking of that meme, did you see the guy who cosplayed? He was at some festival. I don't know where
As
it
the
was.
South
but they
Park
had people.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd cosplayed as the South Park dude. That was
Oh, that's
so
cool.
brilliant. The World of Warcraft dude who's like sitting
Yeah.
in his chair, click,
Yeah.
click, 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 and then he just adjusts his glasses every 5 seconds. Click, click,
Nice.
click. That was brilliant. So but yes, this is very much that game, and the people who are very good at it, are good because they've grinded for 10 million years and they know everything about the game, and they're the ones complaining about lack of end game content. Someone was complaining, actually, this was crazy. I think it was a review on Star Wars: The Old Republic, and they were like, "This game sucks. There's no content. I'm gonna quit after I finish getting my second alt to the level cap." What you have to understand is second alt means it's his third character, and the level cap is like 60 or something, and you can't do that without spending at least 20 hours playing the game, right? So this guy is angry about the fact that he's only gotten 60 hours of gameplay out of a game that is free to play. What?
Pretty poor show,
What the
really.
fuck is wrong with these
Well,
guys?
Get to it, developers.
Here, wait, that is the thing. What could they possibly owe you? Yeah.
They've given you thousands of hours of entertainment for free. What could they possibly owe you? I mean, if anything, you owe them.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. All right, that's my thoughts about MMOs.
There you go.
Ooh, back to you.
I'm only going to speak about one other game this evening.
Well, me too.
Which is Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, which I started last
The
week.
RPG, you were going gaga over this last week.
Yeah, and I
Boo-boo-gaga.
still am.
This is
still
the
am,
Life is
because-
Strange people, isn't it?
It is the Life is Strange people, but I'll be honest, this has very
Nothing
heavy.
like Life is Strange.
It has very heavy Witcher 3 vibes going on.
Vibes.
okay.
It does. It does.
And there's one game that you bloody loves, you.
I love The Witcher
Yeah,
3.
it's a game
This
he
is
bloody loves.
very Witcher 3. But not in combat, can I just say.
Okay.
So the combat isn't Witcher 3 vibes, but pretty much everything else is.
What game is the combat of this most like?
It's kind of a bit of a hack and slash type combat. I can't think of a game that's probably
That's
similar.
Witcher 3. isn't
Witcher
it?
3 is a bit better than a hack and slash, though.
Yeah,
isn't
it is.
It's
There's a bit of depth. There's magic and all
there
that.
was
kind of
magic
Okay,
and
so what
stuff.
you're saying is there's not a lot of depth in the combat.
There's not a lot of depth in this. This is kind of just hit things hard, heavy
Ooh.
attack, light attack, dodge.
like
Block,
on The Simpsons.
parry.
This is the thing you point at whenever you want to die.
Yeah.
But
So
there
there's
is
that.
an press X to squeeze through tight gap mechanic.
There is a press X or a press A.
Yes.
It is
I mean,
on a
I
normal
Which
haven't
is
seen
also
that.
in Return to Grace.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
that
it is.
mechanic in any video game before.
Exactly.
right, it's
It's
totally new.
so combat and movements is very samey. It's very similar to pretty much every other type of thing.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a
action game
mechanic
you'll
that
ever play.
works.
There's nothing very creative about the combat. Even the skill trees are relatively small unless they open up more, because at the moment it does this interesting thing though with leveling up. So you get level up points when you get enough to like go to the next level like any other RPG. But you can switch between skills. So you can activate a skill, but then it's on a level with another skill and you can switch between the two. So
Okay.
it's a really weird way of doing
So
things.
you can switch the skill tree.
Yeah. So basically, like each part of the skill tree has two things on it, and you can open up any one of those, but then you can just switch between them.
And this is the Ghost game, isn't it? So isn't it
It
like
is.
it in? I've heard roughly the stories like, some you kill ghosts, but then somebody you like is a ghost, and now you gotta contradict
Yeah.
yourself and all this sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does this very moral dilemma thing. You can either there's massive spoilers for Banisher if I talk about this, I guess.
Well, I might play
Are
it.
we going to talk about it, or are we going to leave it?
Leave it.
No, we better leave it because it's huge. You're getting into spoiler territory.
Yeah, and
now.
people are liking it. I've heard people.
He's
talk
got a
about it.
heartbreaking decision to
Cool.
make about whether his best friend lives or dies.
But I can talk a little bit about the mechanics. What's kind of interesting with this game? So you basically harvest the souls of the thing. It's like essence, I think it's called, of the ghosts that you get rid of. Right now, there's normal standard ghosts which you see now, which are just a normal
Basic bitch ghosts.
basic. You just got to kill them as you come across
Yeah.
them, kind of stuff in the open
Stupid.
world bit.
Ghosts.
But then the story-based ghosts are different.
Mega bitch ghosts.
So they're haunting somebody because of either something they've done or something that's happened.
Something's happening.
Something's happening. So you have to go through this whole massive story where you talk to loads of people, talk to the ghost, figure out what shit's gone down, right? So you find out what's happened and why they're doing the haunting. And then you've got 3 choices, right? So when you get to the end of one of these quests, so these are like the main quests in the game. And when you get to the end of one of these, you can choose to banish the ghost.
Which is like, fuck them off forever.
Yeah, which is kind of really rough, and you kind of just like really brutally banish them.
Yeah.
Or you can help them ascend. So you can do the same kind of thing, but in a nice way.
Yeah. So they like have a good afterlife.
So they have a good afterlife, and you send them up, and it's all gentle, and they feel good about themselves, and the person who they were
It's like
haunting feels
BioShock.
good.
It is like Bioshock.
Or you can blame the person, right, who was being haunted, and harvest the so you kill them basically
Yourself.
and leave the ghost.
Every
to
time you kill one, you
roam.
say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what happens to it because I haven't done that so far.
Oh,
so
I've
I
been doing
haven't
that every
actually-
time.
Oh, I know you.
Do you have
would.
to send them to Rome? Could you send them to like Venice or?
I've no idea. I've no idea.
Ah!
So yeah, I don't know what happens when you do that, but so far the main quest, like the main ghost quests, have been really good.
Yeah.
Like really interesting stories. Like one of them was a proper moral dilemma, and I must admit, I did sit there for a minute and like go, I'm not really sure what the best option
I
is
don't know
here.
what to
Do I
do."
banish? Do I ascend? Do I blame the person? I don't really know. And then others are more clear cut. So others are more like, oh yeah, that's definitely what I should do at this point.
He's a Nazi. He's a
But
Nazi. And
there's also another reason for choosing as well, which I'm not going to go into because that's obviously.
Did you
spoiler
say?
territory.
Did you say like some people are quite racist to the main character or something as well before last week? Is that true? Or like you said, like,
yeah,
you
no,
can't be
there's
a
a bit-
banisher because you're black.
No,
or whatever.
sexist, more sexist.
Sexist,
It was
okay.
more like because she's a
Ah.
woman, and it's like, well, you can't be a
Right.
banisher. You're a woman. You know, they
yeah.
automatically assume the guy with you is the main banisher, and he isn't.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting the dynamics that they built into the game. Still interesting, like side characters, like everybody, like it's still the same. I've come to a new location.
Mm.
Everybody chats to you. Everybody has stuff to say. There's nobody you talk to who's just like "Good morning"
It's like
or whatever.
that's
you know?
like bloody going up north, though.
Yeah, everybody's chatting.
Everybody's fucking talking to you. I'm like, just
And
leave me
so
alone.
far, there's been some really cool characters as well. Really like interesting.
Hmm.
So far, I'm really, really super impressed with this game.
Yeah.
And don't know what's happened. There's been some voodoo in the last Steam Deck, and it runs massively better now. So I'm guessing that there's been quite a few updates. So it's been optimized more.
Yeah.
And I'm running now on medium to high settings on most stuff, and I'm getting 40 frames a second. So
Well, all right.
it's been and it looks a lot sharper. It's been massively upgraded. So yeah, it's
Cool.
amazing what they can squeeze out of that little box. I'm telling you now. So yeah,
That's
totally
what she said.
impressed. I'd massively recommend anyone who likes The Witcher 3, any of those types of third-person action games. This is.
Did you ever play
perfect.
Vampire? Because this is apparently a spiritual
No.
successor to
Yeah,
Vampire.
I've never
Oh.
played it. I heard good, and I've nearly bought it a couple of times, but I have seen a few negative reviews for Vampire, so I never bought it. I looked at it though, I must admit. Every time there's been a Steam sale, I've been like, "Oh, is it cheap enough to just give it a go?"
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
70 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Yeah, it's one of them. Like, I don't know what this is sat at the moment, but I really
Yeah,
like
I
it.
was looking at that. Generally favorable, but that doesn't
Right.
really tell us anything. Let me look up on Metacritic itself. 78.
Yeah, I think it's better than that. I've
not-
really enjoyed this
yeah.
so far. I think the voice acting's excellent.
What they ought to
The
do is get a
dialogue's
bunch of
really good.
critics to give all their opinions and then give us.
Yeah,
like a
maybe
score of-
maybe they should. But yeah, it's good. I really like it so far.
Get out of here with your fucking ideas.
Fucking out of here.
Uh,
So there
Yeah.
you go. That's it for me this week. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, I got one more here. It was the free game this week on Epic Games Store called Never Yield, and I was mostly just curious about it because I don't play a lot of these types of games. This is an infinite runner, 2D, and pretty basic. It's got like a hip hop soundtrack, and you are running around trying to get away from like it's this weird kind of vague story, as far as I can tell, about like the government's trying to capture you, and there's no explanation about why. All we know is you got to run, man, because you're too intense for this world or something. I don't know. So anyway, there's a lot of Japanese words like splayed across the scene, so it's sort of an Afro manga type of thing going on here.
Okay.
And the aesthetics are pretty good. The music's good. The things, you know, basically you're just running, and then every once in a while you gotta go through a hurdle, either below it, above it, or there's like a middle jump that'll take you like in between two things on the top and the bottom. So yeah. It does this slow motion thing where it'll slow down so you can figure out what you need to do. But the problem is that you have to time your jump so that you're not jumping too soon or too late, right? Because if you jump too soon, you'll land inside the thing you're trying to jump over. If you jump too late, you'll hit it on the way over. And because you need to time it right, you have to get used to compensating for the slow motion, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there is a way to turn it off. Which I might do if I ever play it again, which I probably won't, because after you're playing one level, like I played one level and I was like, all right, that's kind of cute. And then I played another level and I was like, it's a lot like the first level. And there's different backgrounds and the scenery is different and the things that you're hopping over are different. But for the most part, it's pretty much samey. And all you're really doing is just jumping over or under or through different obstacles. And at one point, like there's this building that you need to go through, and you have to jump through the window, which is the jump through mechanic, which is yellow. So that's pretty cool because you get to jump through the window. That's fun. But, you know, after 6 of those, you're like, okay, here's another window.
Yeah,
it's that thing of like.
I must admit, I feel like it's a long time since I've played an infinite runner type game, and I think the last one I played was, I think it was called Alto on the phone. I think it was either.
Sure, it wasn't Balatro, because that's a card game.
No, I think it was just called Alto, and it's like.
Have you heard of that game, Chinny?
Yeah.
It's like a guy on skis or something. It was. It was and it was really cool. It was like really cool backgrounds, really cool.
Well, this guy in Never Yield, he's kind of got some sort of parkour moves, hasn't he?
Yeah, I saw that. It did look pretty cool.
Parkour.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you know, it's the aesthetics are very good, and the sounds are good, and the music's good. I reached a certain point where I played like I think I just played 2 levels, and I was like, all right, I think I've gotten my fill for the next 5 years.
We all remember playing Temple Run. You remember Temple Run?
We do remember playing Temple Run.
Played a hell of a lot.
So, you know, I got my money's worth on this game, and it's, you know, I might still be free on Epic Game Store. Give it a giggle. It's worth every penny of the free.
It's worth free.
Tag. Yep.
Right.
I can't imagine paying for this, but, you know.
No, I bet you can't.
All right. We got news, or do we already cover all the news?
We've got emails. Let's do the emails.
Okay, let's do the email.
Whoa, that ruled.
So, first email today is called Lunch Ladyland. Can you guess who it's from? Can you guess who it's from?
Jason Gallagher?
It is from Jason Gallagher. And he says, hey, veterans of Ball Lake.
Hello.
Okay.
I'd like to apologise to poor Stu and Duke for acknowledging the lack of good game recommendations. I don't think that's true. I don't remember admitting to giving bad recommendations. And I don't think you did either, Duke, did you? I don't remember this.
I might have. I often do things I don't remember.
So yeah, it's just your poor taste in games, Jason. I think is at fault here, not our
Thanks
poor
for writing in. We hate you.
It's not their fault, and for that I am sorry. I'd also like to not apologise to Adam Sandler. You see, a lot of people can't stand Sandler. I appreciate some of his work. He has had some serious movies that have done well. I liked his golf film. I like his tribute to school cafeterias. Uncut reviewed well. That I hate that film. Can I just say, Uncut Gems?
I never saw Uncut Gems. I like Happy Gilmore. Billy Madison's funny.
It's literally just Adam Sandler shouting for an hour.
I loved it.
Awful.
I loved it.
Awful film. Jason says, I didn't care for it. I'm with you, Jason. That film is terrible. Now, his latest Netflix film, whilst I love the idea of it, I absolutely hate his acting in it. Pathetic. But if you do watch it, which I would recommend, because I think it would be a fantastic video game, if you've seen it, please let me know what you
is that
think.
the space one, isn't it?
It is. He forgot to put it in. He sent another email saying it's Spaceman. I think it would have
Spaceman.
been an incredible film had it used an actor that took more time getting into the role. The serious moments were just laughable.
Yeah, I think people have a problem with what's his name? What's his name?
Adam
Adam
Sandler.
Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Yeah, he people find it hard to take him seriously, but I thought Uncut Gems.
Look,
was
Jason's saying he
fantastic.
likes some of his serious films. He just doesn't like him in this film.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I'll watch it.
So sorry to interrupt, but I have to play it on 30 Rock. They at one point Liz Lemon says to Tracy Jordan, "Who's your doctor?" And he's like, "Dr. Spaceman, Dr. Spaceman." He's like, "Well, that can't be right." So she finds the pill bottle and it says Dr. Spaceman. She's like, "What the hell?" So she calls him up real quick. Here's what he.
This is Dr. Leo Spaceman.
Hi, I work with Tracy Jordan.
So the whole joke throughout the rest of the show, his name is Dr. Spaceman. Anyway, yes. Every time I see Spaceman the movie, I'm thinking Spaceman. Go on.
Anyway, he says another rant. Look, I love video games.
Yes, we
But
all do.
if
That's why we do
these-
the show.
If these devs don't start making serious games that create new experiences, they will lose respect. Going after money grabs or creating addictive, same old games, genre old and decrepit bullshit is just boring. Make something new.
They can't all be Deadly Premonition, Jason. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell you. Not every
Or-
director has that vision.
Or go be a lunch lady serving the same old shit. I played Buddy Simulator, which reviewed well. I played it until the game decided that since I didn't do one thing, that it was going to send me about 15 minutes back and lose all that progress to start over. Fuck that and fuck shit games. Actors make huge amounts of cash for fucking free and definitely fuck innovation because apparently no one cares.
Damn.
Sorry, next time
Tell
I'll
us
be
what you
more
really think.
positive. Oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
see June 2. That's positive.
Yeah. I want to see Dune 2.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
at
I'm
this
going
point,
to.
I'll be honest, the Duchess and I are so not even lazy. It's just at the end of the week, we're just like, going to a movie theater? Seriously? No, thanks. It'll stream.
That must
eventually.
be really so that you can just go to a movie theater whenever you want.
I know,
whenever
right?
time.
It's very fun.
Great.
Let me tell you what it's like to be tired, Chinny.
Yeah. Tara has
then-
gone to see the Bob Marley movie twice in 2 weekends.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not heard great things
I
about
wanna
that. I've
see
heard,
it.
I haven't heard
She
good
loves
things.
it. I don't know.
You
Don't
talk
know.
to Tara, she'll tell you great things.
Yeah, maybe.
Have a date with her.
Jason then sent a follow-up
big
email where he
racist.
said, the Sandler film. No,
Yeah.
apparently the guy who
We all
plays.
know that Stu's generally pretty.
No,
racist.
apparently the guy who's Bob Marley doesn't do a good job of it. A lot of critics are saying he's not.
I've
the
seen
best
interviews
Bob
with that
Marley.
guy, and Kingsley, I think his name is. He seems like I like it. I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah.
He seems
I
like
don't
a
know.
cool
I'm
guy.
just telling you what I've heard.
Well, I've heard it from my wife who saw the movie.
Okay. Okay.
What does that have to do with
Anyway,
anything?
yeah,
Chinny,
what's that gonna do
Stu
with
looked
anything?
at some reviews, all right? So who, I mean, what
I'm only
more?
saying that I've heard it's not that great. That's all I've heard. I tell you what is good though, The Iron Claw. Now that's a film.
That's the wrestling film, isn't it?
Oh, it's so good. It's so sad, by the way. Be
Yeah.
prepared for tissues unless you're Chinny, because he
Does
doesn't.
they kill the
fight them.
claw at the end of the movie? Oh, well, that's the Iron Giant. Whoops.
There it is. So anyway, Jason sent a follow-up email. He said the Sandler film was Spaceman or some shit like that just came out.
Thank God you followed up with
And
that.
then he
Jason.
sent
Thank
another
you.
follow-up email where he said,
Jesus
"Org,
Christ.
review stated, Buddy Sim asked my favorite color and turned the text that color. Instant orgasm. Innovation? I don't think so."
What's he talking about?
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
You've just made Duke leave.
I don't know.
He's gone.
No, I had to open the window to get
No,
a
he's
little
gone.
light.
He's
in
gone.
here.
That's
No, I'm
it,
here,
by
I'm
the
here.
way. That's the end of his email link.
Okay, thank you,
Trail.
Jason,
I don't
for
know.
that long thread.
I was going to ask. Last week, I asked Duke if he was playing Final Fantasy. Thanks, Jason, by the way. But just this question just comes
Yes.
to me: if you're playing Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth, and you said no, it was the time and place, blah blah blah. Stu, would you ever play it? Because you love crap stuff.
No. I don't like Final Fantasy games. I don't like the combat. It's too
But this is
fucking
meant to be
complicated.
the one.
No, but
that-
it's so complicated, right? You've got to have the right thing for the right time with the right boss
Yeah.
and all this bullshit. and
Yeah,
I'm just
that was
like,
always my complaint with them, and it
fuck
never
it.
really mattered until like 2/3 of the way through the game. But I think they're bringing it.
But what
into
was the
more
last
earlier and
Final
earlier
Fantasy
part of the
game you two played?
I played the demo for Final Fantasy VII Remake. There was a demo for it, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
hated
Yeah, I
it.
remember when you played that.
Yeah, I
I
hated
played
it.
14. I think is the MMO one. And I
MMO
just
is the
couldn't
14.
Get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried. I couldn't
Everybody's
get into
talking about it, and I just like, oh no.
Yeah, no, I'm
we-
sure it's great for the people who like it, but it ain't.
Well, I'm never going to play it because it's stupid. But whatever.
Yeah, it is.
So I said in the Discord, by the way, is the gaming industry fucked? Is the gaming industry fucked? Right?
I feel right.
Because Stu, let me just fucking tell
Well,
you how fucked it is.
okay.
So
No, I
ready to
think
give
it
his
is.
opinions.
I actually agree it is.
2023, there were 10,000 roughly or 11,000 layoffs in the gaming industry. In 2024, bear in mind we've just reached March. There's already
Yeah.
6,000. Sony
Yeah.
Studios gone. Microsoft, Patushk, Naughty Dog, Insomniac. They're fucking cutting them left, right, and
They're
centre.
severaging people. aren't they?
Twitch.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, they are.
6,000 people are now don't have their jobs. So, and I know you got something to say, Stu, but before you do, is it fucked? Did they overhire during 2020, or is it the fact that games take about 6-7 years to make and the bubble is bursting because AAA games are too much? We get a GTA every.
Whoa.
We get a sequel to a game. Look at The Last of Us, right? We get a sequel to a game every console generation now. We get a sequel to a GTA that skipped a console generation. If we want like a AAA game that we were getting in the noughties and the late noughties and the early 2010s, we have to wait 5-6 years, and people aren't really, making them quicker than that. Other than the Yakuza games, I don't know what they're putting in their fucking tea, but they're doing something.
Yeah, they
Right.
turn those things out
So-
like a conveyor belt.
Is the gaming
Um,
industry fucked, or is it just a COVID thing? Discuss.
I feel like it's a combination of all those things. I do think it's fucked to an extent because I just don't. That it's It's an oversaturated market. There's only so many.
I don't
people
think that's the
playing-
problem.
Oh, I think that is part of the issue.
Well, let's hear
It's
Stu.
massively
Let me be the referee.
Yeah,
let's
go
hear Stu, and then
They
Duke will
released
get.
in 20.
Go for
They did a thing in something like 2017. They released about, I don't know, however many thousand games on Steam. In 2023, so they released 18,000.
I know, but my argument to
And
that
it's
would
this
be
massive
my argument to that.
oversaturation of games, isn't it?
But that we're talking about big developers now, like because a lot of
Right.
those are indie developers. We're talking about big
Right.
people that made The Last of Us 2, one of the greatest games ever made, are getting cut.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question, Chinny, right? Over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what is your most played game,
Balatro.
right? And is that a AAA game? No, it's not, right? But the trouble is, there's every now and again, these types of games are coming out.
Yeah, but
all
I've
the
got a
time.
little baby.
Yeah, no. Do you not let me finish? Let me
I heard
finish.
someone say we should hear from Stu, and then
But those
Good idea.
those little games, regardless of how much they cost to develop or how addictive they are taking people away from playing these AAA titles. And you're more
Because they don't come out quick
And
enough.
people just don't exactly. But people don't have
no,
as
no,
much
no,
time.
that's
It's
All right,
bullshit,
free
Duke,
Jimmy,
time as
because
well.
you
Duke, you
know
come
you
in.
should be playing. You know you want to play Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is AAA.
Yeah.
You could be playing that. Don't give me this. There's no
Yeah.
games to play.
Yeah, it is.
There's loads of games that
My
have come out in
point-
2024. Go on, Duke. What's your point?
Well, so my point would be, first of all, shout out to SLH. She posted a really
She did.
interesting
We'll
article
read
from The
that.
Guardian
No.
about exactly this topic.
Yeah, we'll read
And in it quotes someone who had worked on Tekken 5, and this is way back in the day. At that time, we were developing software by saying we could put anything we could think of on a disk. We didn't have a plan from the beginning, but rather develop software as we thought of it along the way. Porting and development was going on at a much faster pace with much lower labor costs than now. Okay, so there's a lot going on in that quote, and I don't want to ever be the person who's like, back in the good old days, because that's nostalgia for an age that never existed. However, what I would say is I personally don't think, if the question is, okay, you asked about the industry, Chinny.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about the industry of video games, that's a very big question. And I think there's really two parts of it to look at for this discussion, at least. One is the big studios, and the other is the gaming industry as a whole, which is everything else, which is the
Indie
18,000
devs
games
and
Stu
stuff,
mentioned
yeah,
on
yeah.
Steam. Right. So if we said that 17,500 of those or 17,800 of those are, you know, indie
Whatever.
games, and 90% of those are shit because they're
Mhm.
fucking Nazi furry game that I complained about once upon a time, right?
Mhm.
They're all
I like
fucking
that game,
walking
by the way.
simulator. They're all just so garbage.
Yeah.
Steam is. I mean, you thought the Xbox Indie Arcade was full of crap.
Yeah.
Fucking killer's dream. Like, take a look at the new releases, not filtered by what's popular or
Hmm.
somewhat decent. They must have either staff or AI filtering some stuff out for Steam, because if you go to like new demos, it's
Hmm.
just a shit show. I defy you to play 3 of the most recent demos.
I might try
mean,
it.
seriously, you gouge your fucking eyes out. I promise. So
Mm.
anyway, those are two
Anyway.
different questions. And when it comes to the AAA developers, I think that, as always happens in industries, they get too big for their own good, and it stifles innovation because they have this board of directors that's telling the developers,
Oh yeah.
profit, 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 profit. So the real problem, in my opinion, is capitalism and monopoly.
Mhm.
Oh
So
yeah. No,
I think if we were to break up some of these big developers, we would have more innovation.
I
Go, Stu,
absolutely
go.
agree because we've kind of
Oh
come
my
full
God,
circle.
we actually agree.
Wow.
No, I totally agree because I do feel
Yeah.
like we've almost come full circle. Because let's be honest, right? When video games were first developed, although they were entertaining in the arcade cabinets, they were primarily made to take your money off you, right? That's what these things.
Yeah.
They were just another form of a slot machine, you know, a form of a like a one-armed bandit.
Yeah.
They just in a different
Gambling.
guise. They were gambling. You were gambling how long you could last for before you had to put another quid in, right? That's basically what, or 50p or whatever it was at the time. These were made to make money. Then obviously home consoles came along, and suddenly
Which were also designed to make money, to be clear.
they were, but only from the software and from the selling of the
Right.
consoles. They weren't designed
Right.
to make money within the games themselves. It was just a,
Right.
and in the beginning, they still developed these games the same as arcade games, which were still fucking rock hard
Right, of
difficult.
course. Because
But
that's always
then-
the way it goes. When people, when we first started getting computers, people wanted the sound of the typewriter, so we had software that would mimic that. Because
Yeah.
people have a hard
So then
time
what
to-
happened? That we progressed, obviously, let's progress down to the Xbox 360 days, where we had this almost like honeymoon period where we had games that were just developed for purely entertainment and nothing else. You know, things like BioShock, things like Dead Space, things like The Elder Scroll Oblivion. All these games came out which were amazing, right? And they were purely just to entertain you. And all they relied on was the sales of those
No.
games. All.
Well,
Right.
the
Let
thing
him- let him
about
finish, let him-
that
Bob.
is-
Let me
Let him
finish.
You're going to
finish.
tell me to shut
Bob,
up?
Yes.
Jesus
Bob,
fuck.
let me
Why did
finish.
I even bother?
And now where we're at now, we've kind of come full circle because they've gone from like, let's develop a software just to entertain people and to sell games purely on the merit of the story or the gameplay or the graphics or whatever it may be, to let's develop a game. How can we get the most money out
Yeah,
of people
yeah.
whilst they're playing it?
Okay. How about this? I don't know where Duke went,
Oh,
but
hi-
I remember him
hi,
talking
Bob.
about
Hi, Bob.
nostalgia for a name that never existed, whatever the fuck he was talking about. Let me
Yeah.
just put something to you here, Stu. This idea that they used to make games for the purposes of story. 2 words for you here. Horse armor.
Yeah,
but that
happened.
failed.
That failed miserably.
Yeah, but it was a fucking cash grab, and every
It's
other
right.
goddamn
Yeah,
thing
but
that
it
came
was
out
in
was
its-
also a cash grab.
was kind of
That's
in
what
its
we do.
infancy.
We grab for the
Infancy.
cash when we make games. The reason we didn't have microtransactions in the Oblivion shit is because we didn't have the technology to do microtransactions.
No,
That's
exactly.
not
The
true.
end.
That's not true.
Well, how did we do microtransactions back in the day?
Well, you did it with Horse Armor, but the audience rejected
Yeah.
it because they wasn't used
Yeah,
to it,
Yeah,
and then they
well,
slowly
we pushed
crept
and
it in.
shoved, and then
They-
now
so what they
audiences are
did-
smarter because now audiences are cool, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll give
No.
you, I'll
So
buy
what
this thing for my
happened-
horse or whatever."
What happened? The innovators
Audiences got stupider. That's what
to
happened.
figure out ways of doing it, but in a more subtle
Yeah.
way, so that it's not as
Yeah.
noticeable and more.
Yeah, exactly. But that's nothing to do with the impulse of the developer. The developer's like, "I want
But-
to make money. I want
But
to make
I
money."
think. Yeah, I mean, we are a prime example of this, right? In the way we go to, like we used to go to EGX when we very first went to EGX. It was all about the AAA titles.
But it was all about games that hadn't come out yet as well.
Yeah, exactly. It was all about games that hadn't come out. It was all about AAA titles.
Because
It
the
was all about-
technology wasn't there to hype you up every day with fucking trailers and shit.
In the last one we went to, every single game that was in the main bit had already been released or was about to be released. Or the demo was already out on Xbox Live Arcade or whatever.
Because there's more technology now.
And the place we ended up concentrating was in the indie game development. Games.
I think I was at the pizza fucking thing. I think.
Well, there was that, but it was more interesting.
We're gonna have microtransactions on that soon. Don't you?
You want pepperoni?
All the innovation you're getting these days is in the indie sections, and I think people in general have become massively disillusioned with AAA titles.
I mean, I know we're going off topic, but I think EGX became, how do we make this extract more money from people?
Yeah.
Because
everything comes down to cash.
It was more. There were over the years that we went to EGX, which was about 2011, or no, 2009 was the first one.
2009, the first one we went
to like 2019, which was the last one we went to. It became more around about 2016. About let's just put as much merch and as much shit you got to buy as possible.
You know, when we first went, they used to throw T-shirts at you. They used to be like,
literally throw them at your head.
Have a T-shirt, have a T-shirt, right? Which was advertising. Let's not be, But
I still have some T-shirts of those.
Then it became, let's have
buy a T-shirt
thing, or buy a T-shirt, or something where you might get a T-shirt if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And it just became this massive. I mean, we used to have swag. We used to call them swag bags, didn't we, when we first went?
Yeah.
And it was like, how many T-shirts, how many?
Well, they used to give you like a tote bag when you walked in. You'd be like, all right, I'm gonna
I've still got this. I can't even remember which one this came from, right?
Dunno.
But I've still got
I remember
this.
that. Yeah, I remember.
And it's so fucking cool. It sits on top of me. And
there's audio listeners who don't know what the fuck you're holding up.
Oh, you're holding up a little.
I'm holding up a little mini Hitman bobblehead thing.
Hitman
bobblehead.
And it was super cool.
Yeah.
And it was, and it's really well made. And it's like you'd probably pay quite a bit of money for one of these if you bought one.
So back onto the industry being fucked. Bob, how many people have you laid off?
What, today? About 6,000.
God.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. Do you feel guilty or bad or?
Do I feel guilty? I'm a capitalist. We don't feel guilty, okay? We take the big hole that we stuff with money inside of us, and we take some of that money and we buy stuff to make us feel happy. That's how we deal with the guilt. Oh no, people's families, man.
The trouble is, sort of these big, massive companies are just totally cynical, and the way they operate is, if they're not making the money from the sales of the game or the microtransactions or whatever shit they're making profit off, they could probably stand not putting as many members of staff, but they wanted that bottom line, those directors, shareholders, whatever, want to see that profit increase.
That's why corporations exist, my friend. What do you want them to be existing for? To help make puppies cuter? Jesus Christ, that's why corporations exist, okay? The corporations that made this phone, the corporations that made your Xbox, the corporations that made this microphone that I'm speaking into, they all exist just to make money. Same with every car company, every fast food franchise, every company that sells food at the supermarket. They're all just existing to make money. If they could do fucking microtransactions in toilet paper, trust me, they would.
You see, I think...
Oh, you just give me an idea.
I think that
look, heated there's seriously like a heated seats are now like a service. You got to pay for it every year, right? This is a thing that car companies are doing now.
Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
go ahead. What were you going to say, Stu?
I think Alan Wake 2 is an example of bucking the trend, really, and this is down to Epic. This is down to Epic because obviously they funded that game. And they really, I think they genuinely just went like, just do what you want. We don't care.
But there's always like every year there's a game that's like single player, really good story, you know.
Yeah. And why does Epic have the money to do that? Because they're sucking the cash out of 6-year-olds' eyeballs with the Fortnite.
They are.
Yeah, but
so if you want your Alan Wakes, you got to be happy about Fortnite too.
Yeah, it's a means to an end. It is a means to an end. Wow. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, okay, Bob had to leave. Sorry, he just ran
Bob.
past me. No, it's okay. But you know, my point again. This idea of breaking up the monopolies, because I think that does lead to stagnation and unhealthy practices across the board. So that the mid-sized, I think the victim here are the mid-sized developers, right? There's always going to be Concerned Ape who makes Stardew Valley, right? There's always going to be the guy who made Flappy Bird or whatever. You're going to have these individuals who somehow find a way to make games while living in their basement and working some shit job. I think one of the okay, sure. I think that the smart societies provide some government funding for game development. That's where we got Tetris. That's where national public radio in the United States comes from. That's where public broadcasting in the US comes from. I assume the BBC works the same way, right?
No, we pay for the BBC.
Through your taxes, right?
Yeah, so
No, well, it's a
every
license. It's a license.
Yeah, every UK person. It is a tax.
But they're
really,
not
because they
chasing a
have to pay.
profit, correct?
They make money. They make plenty of money.
Yeah. Well, they I'm sure.
I don't know
I'm
how
sure
that
they
is.
have. The BBC is constantly in the news for losing money and always trying to make more money somehow, some way.
And
Well,
they pay
but
their
that's different from
presenters
turning a
huge
profit.
amounts of
And
money.
I don't know if the BBC turns a profit or not. But what I'll say about the United States
they
is
make money.
that the National Public Radio and the Public Broadcasting Service, they don't have to turn a profit. And as a result, the quality of the stuff that they produce tends to be so much better than the for-profit companies because they're focused on journalism. They're focused on quality programming. And I think that our societies could stand to have, and it's a sketchy thing. I'm not necessarily saying I'm in favor of this because I know that people who favor smaller government and lower taxes, which I'm in favor of in general, they don't necessarily want to fund video game development because that's not an essential government service. I get that. But I do think that for the quality of the art we get, you know, the National Endowment for the Humanities in the United States funds a lot of good art that wouldn't get made otherwise. So,
just to give you some perspective, the BBC generates most of its income through the TV license fee, and in 2022 it made £3.8 billion.
Made or turned over?
Accounted 70% of the BBC annual income, so it made 3.8 billion annual income from the license fee.
Okay, yeah, but that's not
And then
profit though, is it?
No,
right. It's a
not
public
all profit.
broadcaster.
But they
according to
made
Wikipedia.
another 2 billion in other income from advertising,
Yeah.
selling the programs abroad, etc. It
Yeah.
does make
Right.
money. It makes a
Well, it
profit.
makes money, but the question is, does it make more or less than what it has to? So it spends money, and presumably the money it makes is trying to make up for what it spends.
Well, there was a big thing about the programs that because it's cancelling a lot of programs lately, and the reason being is because they can't repeat them, and they can't sell them internationally. So it looks
right,
like
right,
a corporation that's trying to make more money.
Right. So
Anyway, the game,
that's
gaming
aside.
industry's fucked anyway.
Yeah.
So enjoy your games because it's all going to be gone.
I think the hope of the industry, like all industries, comes from innovation and creativity, which doesn't tend to happen when these enormous companies just get bigger and bigger. So we should break them up.
Break them up. Break them up.
Okay. What's next?
Susan, by the
we've
way,
got-
Susan said, "I don't know enough about video games to know what's changed. Are some more games expensive to make current gen consoles and PC now? Is it that gamers expect more in performance and appearance? Is it that the multiplayer and cross-platform aspects cost more? The consumer price of a AAA game is certainly eye-wateringly high enough. Are people just not buying games anymore? I personally was always someone who mostly waited for new games to become not so new to drop in price before buying, but I absolutely haven't bought a brand new game in years. I'm happy with scooping up bargains in sales, Stu, or working my way through Game Pass, me. Is the subscription model killing games, or is it the booming smaller indie developers who are subsiding the likes of Microsoft? Blah 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 blah. Who the fuck knows? I think it's more just the fucking cost.
I think it's partly cost, and I do think people are getting a bit fed up with the business models of a lot of these games.
Well, what's interesting as well is like I remember paying £60 for Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo in 1992 or whatever, and people moan whenever a company goes, "We just want to raise it by a tenner," because like they've been 60 quid for like years. And they were 40 quid when they were CDs and DVDs.
But when you get into the realms of £80 for a game, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but
especially with cost of living
prices. I just typed it into the inflation calendar, or the inflation calculator.
Yeah.
$60 in 1992 is apparently worth $131 today.
Yeah.
So if the price of games kept up with inflation, they'd be a lot more expensive.
And also, like, there's the argument of, okay, you've got to produce a cartridge and you've got to distribute it and blah 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 blah.
That's fair.
However, I feel like the scale hasn't gone up equally. You know what I mean? Because I know there's no physical media anymore because that's dead. But I feel like the scale of the cost of a game, you know, the cost of The Last of Us 2 hasn't gone up the same scale of how much like the price was and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So
And I think that the curse of a successful developer is that they have to keep producing things that are more and more impressive.
Correct.
In other words, if a game has a 7 out of 10 impressive ratio or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you would call it, their next game can't also be a 7 out of 10. It has to be an 8.
well, maybe
And so, therefore, games just get bigger and bigger, and all the reviewers demand something new, something different, something additive. And so they just keep throwing in more cooking and crafting and this and that makes the games bloated.
I joked
Yeah,
about
I
I joked about Yakuza, but it does seem like they've figured out this formula that, I mean, I don't really like the Yakuza games, but they have figured out a formula of knocking these games out every year, and not even like a game every year. It's like a side game every year, a detective game, right? And they have set the bar of like, you know, The Last of Us 1 to 2 is such a graphical jump and features and animations and all sorts of stuff jump. Whereas everybody's like, I'm just happy to play more Yakuza, more story.
Yeah, but like,
wacky
to be
thing.
fair, can we just
Give the
just
audience what they
clarify?
want.
The latest Yakuza game looks fucking amazing.
No,
mean,
I know.
they're
I imagine like they,
graphically
but
very super
there's
impressive.
they're a style, aren't they? They
but
they
they're
wouldn't
super impressive.
you wouldn't put it in the same category as The Last of Us 2 in terms of how it looks, because it's Last of Us 2 is going for absolute realism, and I
think the
feel
latest
like
one
the
looks
Yakuza
amazing.
games are like a more of a cartoony sort of look, really.
Right, and it's easier and cheaper to churn out cartoons than it is to churn out realistic stuff.
No, I think you need to put some footage of the latest
Which
one on.
one's the latest one? I'm confused. Like a Dragon, or what is it?
No, it's called. Just a minute. I haven't actually played it. It's something like.
Is it like?
It is Yakuza. It's some weird like money thing. It's called.
I think while you're pulling that up, I will say that I think that one of the reasons the Yakuza games are
Infinite
probably
Wealth.
successful.
It's called.
Sorry,
like
sorry.
a Dragon Infinite
One of the reasons
Wealth.
why they're probably successful is because they have a market niche, right? They are giving their audience what they want, and their audience is always hungry for more. And this reminds me of why YouTubers are going to be successful, is because they produce content constantly. If you have a YouTube channel and you make an amazing video once every 6 months, you're not going to be a very successful YouTube channel. That's not what people want on YouTube. In fact, what people want on YouTube isn't even YouTube, it's TikTok. Right? Because everything on YouTube now is these vertical, you know. So that's an example of the industry moving in the opposite direction from video games. I mean, sort of. The industry writ large is full of TikTok type games. They took 20 minutes to make, they take 5 seconds to play, and it's just like, whatever.
So we're looking at Yakuza Infinite Wealth, and I would argue, Stu, this looks like GTA 5 sort of level 360.
I think the outset. I think you've picked a bad bit. You need
No,
to
there's no picking a bad
Really,
bit.
come on,
I'm
Chinny, you
pick-
got to you got to
No.
find a better part of the game to
like-
show how
no,
amazing
there
it
is
is.
no doubt.
I mean, the graphics, it's not cartoony, to be fair.
It's
Like,
definitely
it's
not a cartoon.
Yeah, but this
pretty
ain't The Last of Us.
polished
though.
compared to what I expected. Right. No, but my point is that they're not going for
Yeah,
The
mean,
Last
that's
of
my
Us
point. That's
in
my
terms
point.
of like
Lip-syncing, they've
greatest
got facial
story
expressions.
That's my point, though, Duke. Is like
ever. I mean,
they've
facial expressions isn't much of a selling point in 2024, Stu. I mean, come on.
No, my
No,
point.
I'm
My
just saying
point is that
these
like
are
they.
not cartoony.
My point is that if we saw Last of Us 3 and it looked the same as The Last of Us 2,
Right.
we would
Right.
everybody
I'd be
would
fine
be
with
in
it.
an uproar. No, everybody would.
I
I know
wouldn't.
you'd be fine with it, but everybody would be like, "What the fuck?
Right.
What happened?"
Right.
Whereas
Exactly.
Yakuza,
Right.
because they're coming out so often, people are like,
Right.
"Well, of course it's not going to look as much better."
And audiences aren't really that worried about it.
No.
Audiences aren't
People
looking at
love
this game
these
thinking
terrible
this
games.
needs to be the greatest story experience of all time. But that's the curse that Naughty Dog has set for itself. And so it may be that Naughty Dog isn't a fair target for us because Rockstar might be Rockstar has its own curse. Rockstar's curse is big
Too
with
good.
a million things to do.
Too
It's the
good.
same with Bethesda, right? Why has Bethesda not put out an Elder Scrolls game? Because nothing they create is going to be able to match the expectations that people have for the next Elder Scrolls game.
I
If
think
you
we
go
got
from Oblivion to Skyrim to Elder Scrolls 6, like how the fuck are you supposed to get to Elder Scrolls 6?
I think we got close to this solution. Remember when Gabe Newell was talking about episodic games and everything, and
Yeah, okay, that would be cute if we had a fucking Portal 3 and
no, I
or
know,
Half-Life
I
3.
know. But
Gabe.
the problem is
He
like
can talk about it, he just can't make it happen.
like I think that's almost because this is kind of what Yakuza is, isn't it? It's a very episodic. Like
Oh,
I
definitely.
heard somebody talking about Infinite Wealth, and they said this literally starts where the last one finishes. So it's that continuous.
It's the
like
new
you just
season
know,
of the show.
yeah, it's a new season of a show, and I think GTA got close when they did Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost of Damned, where it's just like keep doing that shit.
Sure.
But the problem is
Right.
now
And because
the,
and
the,
I think-
I was
sorry,
going to
go
say
ahead.
the problem is now is that GTA saw that online money and went fuck that.
Right. It's the cash grab. So I think that Enmeshed or Enshrouded is the game I fell in love with most recently. That's a mid-level RPG crafting experience. Would you say, Stu, that the Ghost game you're playing is maybe like a mid-level? I mean,
It's a
that-
B-
that's
B-
not a,
B-
is that
B-
a triple A?
No, definitely
No, it's a
not
B.
triple
It's a
Not
B.
AAA.
B level.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
where it feels like that's where the innovation is coming from. And
Yeah,
most,
definitely.
I mean, this isn't true about Enshrouded, but a lot of the games that we love the most have good stories in them, right? Return to Grace is an excellent story. Spoilers for next week's podcast.
Ooh,
And
I'm looking forward
I know,
to this
right?
now.
So it's like, I think that a lot of developers, like a lot of Hollywood studios, put all their time into the explosions and the Michael Bay special effects, and they're neglecting their story. Why is BioWare off the rails now? Because
But
they said,
this-
fuck story, we don't need story.
But this is why Yakuza does so well, because as batshit crazy as these games always are, the underlying main story is usually really
Yes.
good.
Well, I can't judge that, but it certainly is what the audience wants.
Yeah.
It gives the audience what they want in terms of story. So I'm not going to pretend like soap operas have good stories in them, but they are successful because they give the audience what they want. And I think that a lot of AAA developers don't know how to give the audience what they want because what they have been giving them that they think they want is more, and that can only last for so long before
Yeah,
that
I
bubble bursts.
absolutely agree. I do think, as sad as it is, all these people getting made redundant, I think this is the fault of these greedy, over-bloated companies that
Amen.
run these game
Preach.
developers.
Preach.
And I don't think there's any
Okay.
avoiding what they've done, but fucking hell, it is very, very sad. It's very sad.
Yep. Agreed. Okay, do
Solved.
we have any other emails?
Problem solved.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
But we have got some speak
Okay.
pipes, which I've sent along.
We do
with
have
you.
some speak pipes.
Type, it's the way to leave a message.
Speak bites from a bunch of people. Oh wait, no, two people.
No,
one of
two
whom
people.
sent 7, and one
Yeah.
of whom sent 1. So this first speak pipe is from someone who goes by the name Witness the Fitness. So thank you, Witness the Fitness, aka Saint Diesel. I guess his name is Saint Diesel / Witness the Fitness. So let's see
Indeed.
what he has to say this week. Oh, there it is.
Hey there, David. It's St. Diesel back again.
Good old Roots maneuver.
I'm recording this speed pipe on the 29th of February 2024. And the reason? Well, tomorrow, 1st of March, I'm starting a new health regime, starting with my
Ooh.
diet, which isn't that great, I'll admit. I'm going to try and cut down on some of the more unhealthy foods that I eat at the moment, make more healthy meals, take a bit more exercise, cut down on the calories, that sort of thing. And the reason, well, there's never a bad time, I don't think, to start getting healthier. But the main reason is that I've been invited to a wedding on the 21st of September. My niece is getting married then, and I thought I'd give myself a full 6 months to try and get a bit healthier. I've heard a phrase online recently a couple of times, health is wealth, and I don't think you can argue with that. So I'm just going to try and get a bit wealthier as far as my health is concerned. But I've got a question for yourselves. How are you doing with your physical health? I think since the COVID pandemic, there's been a lot of talk about mental health, and that's all well and good, but sometimes I think the physical side gets a bit overlooked these days. So do you have any food diets you're following at the moment, or do you just try to eat a bit healthier or follow a healthy food regime? Do you do any exercises, that sort of thing? And I'll just leave it at that until next time.
All right, Saint Diesel, did you not hear the first half hour of this
Yeah, you
episode? For
did.
God's sake, you can't want
I was
more.
thinking about trying skipping.
Yeah, skipping.
No, skipping.
mean, like, skipping
I,
down the
I
road.
will.
Listen to what I just said. You just said
I know,
the last.
skipping.
I was
I
thinking
know,
about trying skipping.
I know, I heard.
You're talking about like skipping down the road, Shin.
No,
Skipping.
like
No,
what boxers
skipping.
do. You know, skipping
Oh, it's good. It's
like
brilliant
skipping rope.
cardio.
Yeah.
It's really good cardio.
Oh, okay.
skipping.
I was
the
thinking
reason
about
I
trying
asked
it.
is
It's a
because
killer. It's a killer, Chinny.
Oh, I
just to let
know,
you
I know,
It's
but
an
I'm
absolute
just
killer.
like, I was like, I'd love to get good at that.
Yeah. Oh,
So
it's a
that
killer.
Well,
because
there's a
that's a step,
comedian-
isn't it? It's like if you want to try something, the best way to do exercise is to do something that you actually want to
Well,
try.
you can get. Can I just say, you can
Yeah.
get skipping ropes with counters on, so you can count how many times you've
okay.
gone.
Okay,
round.
that's technology gone berserk. There is
There you
no
go.
reason for that
No
shit.
reason
Just
for
count yourself. What's wrong with
Um,
going 1, 2, 3?
What was you gonna say, Duke? You was gonna say something?
Yeah, there's a comedian named Shang Wang who's like, a lot of people are talking about the benefits of running. I like to skip when I travel because that's a fun way to travel, and
Yeah.
people might make fun of you, but you get there faster.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead, Stu.
There you go. Right, I'm just gonna let you in on what I've done. Obviously, since I had the heart failure.
Are we really
thing.
talking more about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, only a little bit. Only a little bit.
What else are we gonna talk about?
Yeah, I've virtually.
I have to cut my discussion of Delivery Inc.
Yes.
short, but we're going to spend
Well,
another
this is
20 minutes.
important. This is important.
This is
stuff.
about health, Duke.
Important
My
stuff,
opinions
dude.
about a video game is not important.
Not
This
important.
is
Important
important. Go
This
ahead.
is health.
I've had to change my entire lifestyle.
Right.
Apparently.
due to my
How much
condition.
cocaine do you do
Yes.
now?
I don't do any cocaine. So
All of it.
I've had to cut out alcohol
Apparently.
completely. So I haven't had any alcohol for over 18 months.
What
now,
kind of
so-
loser doesn't drink alcohol?
I
That's
know,
easy.
no alcohol for
Easy.
18
Done.
months.
Or
By the way,
just-
I had
You're already
sake for the
a
first
teetotaler.
time last night.
Um,
So
I eat
pretty
eat 4 pieces of fruit every day now.
Four?
So I have
Jesus.
4 pieces of fruit.
What's your
Then I have
favourite
veg
fruit?
as
what four
well.
have you had today? What
So
kind
I
of
had this morning. So for breakfast, I have fresh pineapple with yogurt to have with my
Okay.
pills.
Yogurt's
when I'm
not a
at home.
fruit.
Okay.
No, but the pineapple
Oh
is.
yeah.
So I have a load of fresh pineapple with that. Then at
Depends on
lunchtime,
who's eating it.
I have an apple, a pear, and a satsuma. So I have all of those at lunchtime.
Okay.
And then for tea tonight, I've had carrots and broccoli. So I've had vegetables
Jesus
at tea.
Christ.
So I try and hit at least 7 a day now. So I'm trying to eat 7.
You're only
fresh
supposed to do
foods.
5. That's 2 over 5.
No, 5
You
a day.
gotta-
But
You got to be too healthy.
But Chinny, have you not heard? You're meant to have 7 a day now. They're saying
Oh, is
7
it?
is the healthy regime.
Well,
I have,
who said that?
It's just the recommendation now.
Dave?
I don't know. I also
Steve?
I've tried to cut out like a lot of the carbs that I have, so I don't have
Yeah.
as many potatoes.
Carbs.
rice, pasta,
Carbs is
eggs.
the killer, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
it's tough to cut.
And then the other thing I've done is cut down on salt massively because I'm not allowed too much salt. So I have to be really careful of how much salt I have.
That's
So I
you
look
as well, Duke, isn't it? You have to cut down. on salt.
everything that has salt in it. It's a fucking nightmare. The amount of salt in stuff is just ridiculous.
Great, though, isn't it?
The amount of salt.
So good.
So I have to cut down on that saturated fat. We've always done more in Mediterranean, so I've always had olive oil and stuff like that. So I've never had unhealthy oils. and
It's
things.
easy for you, though, Stu. You're a chef. You can just whip it up.
Well, I guess, but it's the biggest thing is you've just got to make a concerted effort and change your lifestyle. That's the best advice I can give. And
Make a
you've got to
concerted
be-
effort and change everything you ever thought was possible.
Yeah, that's
ever.
kind of what I've had to do. I've had
Ugh.
to change everything because of my condition. And I look at my test results at the doctors; they were all perfect.
Oh, you never talk about that, really. You didn't
Just
mention that.
perfect.
Did you mention that?
But I think part of that's down to all the lifestyle changes that
I've
I've
just
made over the past year.
Googled perfect specimen, and your face came up.
Did it? I'm not
I
shocked.
don't know
I'm not
why.
shocked.
Wow.
But
How
I
did
could
you
still
do
do
that?
to lose more weight. I lost about 3.5 stones after I was diagnosed.
Why don't you shave your hair? You should lose. That's half a stone.
I could probably. I need to lose probably about another stone,
Yeah.
ideally. I have put about 5 or 6 pounds back on.
How are you putting on weight if you're eating up just like fucking fruit and
No, because I
like,
still eat shit sometimes, because you still got to have some shit sometimes.
what was the
I have
last
no
shit
takeaways.
thing you ate?
I had a cheeseburger and chips on Friday.
Oh, that sounds good.
But it was a skinny burger, so I didn't have
Yeah.
a
I feel
full
like you can't completely stop the shit. Like
But
now
here's
and
the thing.
again,
Here's
like,
the thing, Chinny, right? This is how ridiculous it is. Like a skinny burger, still quarter pounder, still a quarter pounder, but less fat and all that, is about 120 calories less than a normal quarter pounder.
It's not even worth it.
That's
It's
not a
totally
low bar,
worth
is
it.
it?
It's not.
It's
even
totally
worth
worth it.
Just fucking have the normal one.
And
man.
then we had 50%.
Well, no, just
less
have
fat
something other than
cheese.
a burger. I mean, you are having a lot of things other than burgers, so kudos on your. I have a hard time with diet, to be honest, because I have always
Food is
ever
delicious.
since I became a vegetarian. Well, unhealthy food is delicious, and when I became a vegetarian, I was like, all right, I'm cutting down. A lot of the most unhealthy stuff people eat is in meat, and so when I cut out, pork ribs and cheeseburgers and hot dogs, I cut out a lot of unhealthy stuff. However, I compensated over the years for that with cheese and mayonnaise and ice cream and chocolate and the rest of it. So now I'm having the reckoning where it's like, okay, my doctor's like, look, it's catching up with you. You're gonna have to cut some of that.
The other issue is a lot of vegetarian food is really high in fat and it's really high in salt.
Well, sure, right, and so that it becomes. I mean, I never looked at it as like I'm healthy because I'm a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm, as Calvin once said when his mom and Calvin and Hobbes, his mom gave him a vegetarian meal. He's like, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm a desertarian.
A lot of dinners I make vegetable curries, vegetable chilies, and stuff like that with just a bit of rice in and stuff for lunches.
Yes, well, we all know you're perfect, so yeah.
But I am like as a result of it, my health has improved dramatically. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it has.
So there you go.
Okay. Anything else we want to say about our regimens of eating or exercise? Okay, Chinny's gonna try skipping. I have a stationary bike. It's been too cold here to ride my real bike, but I do like riding my bike. So
which is ironic because I'm sure a lot of people are going to skip this section of the show.
Yeah, I see what you did there. That's coincidence, not irony.
That's the biggest issue with what I've got is I can't do vigorous exercise. That's not allowed.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's the biggest
issue. Can you do
issue.
moderate exercise?
Yeah, I can do walking and things like that, but
gentle swimming.
Gentle swimming would be fine. Riding my bike's fine again as
long
as I'm not going up really steep hills.
What about throwing balls at children in a park? Could you do that?
That would be fun, but possibly not good exercise.
What about lobbing
also
banana skins at people's
children.
Houses? Yeah.
Balls. So that's my biggest issue now. I can't burn it off as easily because I can't do anything vigorous.
What about waterboarding? Waterboarding other people. That's gentle.
Yeah,
exercise.
that would be fun again, but probably not good exercise.
I think it would be. There'd be some. You'd have to pick up the bucket.
Depending on how much they struggle, it could be good exercise.
You'd have to hold them down. That's a bit of exercise.
Yeah.
Stay down.
Yeah. So that's the trouble.
Okay. So we're ready for the next speak pipe then.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Jacinta. Yeah. Here we go.
Her name is Jacinta.
And it's
Sean in the chat says eat whatever you want. The exercise is the key thing to burn it off. Eating's only half the job. Thanks,
It is,
Sean.
but it's a problem when you can't do the exercise.
All right. Okay. The next one. Thanks.
And everybody is different, so there's no one answer to how to be healthy because every person has different things going on in their bodies. All right. So here's the email from the speak pipe from Jacinta.
I'm very happy right now.
Okay.
I've just had to pull over. I'm getting my kid from childcare, but I'm waiting outside in my car because I have to record this. It's very urgent.
Okay.
Stu.
Oh God,
You're killing
what have
me.
I done now?
Deadlock.
What
I
have
hate
I
to
done?
admit it, but we have very similar taste in television shows.
Oh, Deadlock's
I was
amazing.
recently,
Let me know if you want to talk, and I can
Shut up.
pause it.
Sorry.
Otherwise, let it play, and then you can talk afterwards. She said it's amazing.
blessed by watching that show. I hate that you forgot to mention that there's a lot of lesbians in that show.
There's a lot of lesbians.
Jacinta, let it go. Come on.
Every week we try and get over this. Right.
Look, just accept. I think it's amazing. Can I just say?
Yeah, go.
To erase them, man. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to comment on was the fact that that show, Deadlock, is set in a place in Australia called Tasmania. And Amanda...
That's where Hannah Gadsby's from. We're reading her book right now.
You paused that for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good thing to pause for because Hannah Gadsby is also a lesbian. So there you go.
Palmer, a singer-songwriter from America. When she was out here, she wrote a song called Map of Tasmania, which is all about how women shouldn't shave their areas. And yeah, because in Australia, it's like a, fuck, what do you call them?
Taboo?
Metaphor. I'm so tired. Map of Tasmania is like you get me. Oops. So, lol, Tasmania, lesbians. Bye.
Okay.
Okay. I think we have the title for our show. Lol, Tasmania lesbians.
There you go.
Okay. She sent another speak pipe.
She did.
Jacinta or Amanda Palmer. I don't know. Is that her real name? I thought her real name was Jacinta.
I don't know.
Now here's the thing. Do you know how many? This is SpeakPipe keeps track of how many we've gotten, right?
Yeah.
Which number SpeakPipe do you think this is?
100.
No, I think it's about
more than that.
384 or something ridiculous.
More than that.
500.
1,000.
More than 500. Less than 1,000.
Really? I didn't think we'd have that many. 760.
Less than 700.
666.
Satan! Satan! Satan!
Ah.
Satan! Satan!
Nice. Nice orbital reference there. Very good.
Yeah, I had to cue that one up special for you, Stu. I love you, baby. All right, so thank you, Jacinta, for sending in this Satanistic SpeakPipe. Not that you realized it was Satanistic, but it happened to be the mark of the beast on your SpeakPipe. So let's hear this evil SpeakPipe. So I guess she's not playing the actual song, so you don't need to pause anything.
Okay.
You managed to make it out okay.
I mean, I've just googled Tasmania just to see the shape of it. I mean, it does look like an upside down triangle, but I mean, they must be bored in Australia to sort of like, you know what I mean? You know, like Cornwall kind of looks like a cock.
Australia. First of all, they've been sent away from their homeland because they're all criminals, and like, what is there to do? They destroyed the indigenous population, and they're hanging out with kangaroos.
Cornwall kind of looks like a dick, but we don't go on about it.
So what's
Did y'all see that meme? Oh yeah, the third SpeakPipe's coming, but someone. There was a RoboCop meme I found recently where it said it was Clarence Boddicker because it was Women's History Month, and so I said Happy Women's History Month to the Duchess, and she said "Bitches leave," which of course is the line from RoboCop, right, when he walks in the room. And so I said "Bitches leave their mark on the world." So that was my Women's History Month celebration for Clarence Boddicker there. Anyway, so I posted on the RoboCop subreddit, and they had a subreddit where the guy goes, there's a screenshot of Clarence Boddicker going, "I work for Dick Jones," and then someone had put Butthead's face on RoboCop's setup. So he goes, "I work for Dick Jones," and then it goes, Dick Jones. So anyway, that was my, I don't know how I got on that topic. All right, so there's one more SpeakPipe from
Will this
Jacinta,
episode ever end?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We're just going to keep going forever. It's the show that never ends.
My name is Jacinta.
All right, here comes the third one here.
And now for some of the song.
Oh, now you should get ready to
all right, I get
read
ready.
it there, Chinny. Okay, everybody ready?
Yep.
We're ready.
Here we go.
On the video, we are the making you. I stop it. Jungle. Give him something strong to hold on.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Well, thank you, Jacinta.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, by the way,
Yeah, that's
Deadlock
catchy.
we finished Deadlock. It's very good.
Okay.
Tasmania is
another-
so
by the way-
far away.
Yeah, it is.
Ugh.
By the way, another good Australian comedy is called Colin from Accounts. If you've not seen that, which is also very good.
Okay. I liked Romper Stomper. That was a pretty funny movie from Tasmania.
Oh,
Yeah, these are all
hilarious.
television shows. Television shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought we were talking
Hey.
about comedies, so I thought I'd include something comedic.
I watch
from
American
from
History X.
I
for
don't
some
think
comedy.
Romper Stomper
That
was,
was also
a comedy, by the way, which is a
Right,
joke.
that's the joke, Frank.
We're doing jokes
Yeah.
here, Stu. We're doing jokes.
Joke. Right, let's.
So wait, you
open it.
didn't go in the bathroom when the nurse said take it into the bathroom?
Yeah. By the way, let's do
Okay,
some shout outs.
is
Get the hell out of me. 'cause
okay,
this
let's-
show's
It's
gone
time
on
for a
way too
shout
long.
out. Hey!
Jesus Christ, I'm never getting to bed this evening.
Well, not if you keep talking about your
No,
health
bloody
problem.
not. Bloody not. I'd like to shout out Jacinta because she's got great taste in comedies. Just saying, because it is a very
Yay,
fun show.
Jacinta.
There you
Bum.
go. Yeah. I'm also going to shout
My name
out
is Jacinta.
Chini and hope his bloatedness belly gets better. There you go. There you go. That's me done.
All right, well, I'm going to give a shout out to SLH for that article on Discord that she posted. I thought that was very interesting. And shout out to SLH for keeping the Discord going. I'm going to try to be in the Discord a little more. I think Threads is dead. Like, nothing's happening on Threads. I quit Twitter. Fuck Elon Musk. I don't want to give him my eyeballs. So I'm kind of hunting for a social media. Like, at this point, when I have 2 minutes to look at social media, like, I tend to go to Reddit. And Reddit is sometimes stagnant.
Well,
I
so
don't
what you're
care
saying is
about
you
TikTok.
don't bother with our own social media that she could be interacting.
Well, that's the
with
thing is
people.
that like I should go more into the Discord. So maybe we'll see. I don't really have Discord on my phone, so maybe I should put it on
Bloody
there.
get it in there.
I
then.
don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, get it on there,
Yes,
you
I
lazy
should.
bastard.
I'm
What's the
working
matter
on
with
it.
you?
What's the
But I
matter
will
with
also,
you?
speaking of the Discord, I will give a shout out to Mint Safe on the Discord for
yeah.
suggesting that we make a Veteran Gamers UK playlist. So I have started that process. If anybody has any suggestions for songs that ought to be on it, don't yell them at me right now.
Oh, I see. On Spotify.
Put them in the Discord.
Is this
If
on-
they have to be on Spotify, because it's going to be on Spotify. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah. Tainted Brain said, put the song from the end of the show on it. I was like, that's not on Spotify. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But we could do a YouTube playlist. I guess it's probably on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's definitely on YouTube.
That's another option. But for now, we'll do a Spotify one. And so if anybody has suggestions,
Sure.
let me know.
I've got
I already
one.
put some songs on it.
I've got one.
I said don't shout it out now. Put it in the Discord.
Oh, all right. Then.
Put it in the fucking Discord.
All right.
I'll put it in the fucking
Go ahead,
Discord.
Ginny. You
All
do
right.
your shout outs.
I will shout out Armar, who's been texting me during the show saying, "Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. I've also had to quit bread." So, thanks to Armar.
He liked my Dick Jones jokes because we love RoboCop.
Shout out to the state of Tasmania. I'm looking at a McDonald's in Hobart. Good for them. They've got a McDonald's there. But I went on Google Street View and there's no Tasmanian devils to be seen at all. Just a McDonald's. So,
Jeez.
yeah, I didn't realise Tasmania was so fucking far. Shout out to the chat. We got Sean Teal, who it's morning that time for him. PG Tips. Pillow Soft, Ticket Dark, James Alderman, James Bevan,
Yeah.
Brandon the Bum 420, what? Fraser Moo, and
What?
Ian. Just Ian.
Just Ian. Just Ian.
Just Ian.
We love you all.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The show is available on the things and the stuff. We have a Patreon, but don't do that because it's money and no one's got any money. So, and the people that do
Do
that,
go over to VG Hub.
Hey,
If you
said
like this
doo-doo.
podcast, there is another site you should check out, which is called VGHub.net.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
check out VGHub.net.
No, we appreciate the people that do pay the money on the Patreon, but t-shirts
Suckers.
and stuff and whatever. Thanks everyone. We love you. Thanks.
Yeah, I like that. We're
Yeah.
done.
Thanks for listening.
Good
and
night,
watching.
everybody. Or
All
goodbye,
right,
good
show's
night,
over.
good day,
No
good
refunds.
morning.
You heard the robot. Get out.
Goodbye.
BBC One. And now, plenty of ideas for things to do as we join the Cardiff team who say, why don't you?
Switch off your television.
So when Tainted Brain suggested that be on the playlist, I was like, oh, let me go see if I can find it. And I couldn't. So then I had to like track down who made it and what's it technically called and stuff. And I found that version of it. I'm like, I like that version better than the version
we might get striked on that one.
Sorry,
though.
Stu.
We might get
Yeah,
striked.
we might get
Really?
striked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the actual
okay.
one that was on the show. So
Oh.
the one that we
Well,
use
then,
is a lot
I
more
guess I should.
obscure.
Oh, I see. So we're not going to get a
we don't
strike
get
for that.
strike
Okay,
for
well
that.
then I won't replace this one that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Should I redo it with the one that we've been
No,
using?
no, look, we've
No,
been
we'll do
using
it for
that
one
one
now.
since the show began.
No, I know. I'm
that's
saying,
what
should
we
I
have.
play it now? I mean,
No,
No,
it's-
I know. I think we're fine.
too late. I'm playing it.
Oh my god.
Oh my
it's-
god!
All right, people. We all got to get up early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Gotta go.
GG. G to G.
I really am going.
All right.
people.
Well, have a good week, y'all.
I wasn't actually meant to be working tomorrow, but now I am because somebody's off sick, so I have to.
And
Because
go.
you're perfect, and you're always
yeah,
there.
which is good because you're not sick.
I'm not sick at the
you're-
moment. No.
Yeah.
No, in fact, you're perfectly healthy.
I am perfectly healthy.
Indestructible.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true.
I read
and
in
I
the
ain't
paper that
counting no chickens.
you're never gonna die.
Well,
certainly not from a
wish,
heart attack.
Again, I wish that. Well, that's a bit
I
near the
know, I
knuckle
know, I
juke,
know, I
can I
know,
just
I know.
say?
Yeah, I know. I was just making a joke
You'll
reference
be
to what
really
Chinny
sorry
heard.
if I have a sudden cardiac
Of course
arrest
I
now,
will.
won't you?
That's the point of gallows humor.
And you'll be guilty as
Yeah,
charged.
I'm
No,
already
I
guilty.
don't know if he'd be guilty because he didn't do it.
I'm a Jew. We're always guilty. That's all we are.
Yeah, you jinx me.
Yeah.
Right, touching wood because I definitely don't want that to happen.
No.
Well, nobody
And-
does. Of course not. We want you to be healthy and live a long,
Yeah,
long time.
yeah, so do I. Right, I will leave you guys to it. Speak to you next
All
week.
right.
Okay.
Thanks for
Peace out,
tonight.
fam.
Have a good week. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.